little Clio going very nicely indeed. The story behind that, of course, that they sold sponsorship on that car in little hearts, each heart costing a couple of €100, and between the €500 and between the 5 of them, they raised enough money to get here and to race. Great spirit. That is undoubtedly the way to go racing. Well done them. Inside the last 2 hours, no more gimmies as far as the breaking out of your bracket is concerned. Am I being boyishly optimistic, or is it getting brighter again outside?
It's getting brighter without a doubt, but it's still pretty hazy, and there's still a big wind blowing from the south. Almost from the due south. As now the 3 car makes its appearance on pit road, followed by, looks like the number 1.
It is, yeah. So the first and fourth placed cars coming into the pits together, except that the fourth place car turns into the third place car as it comes into the pits, as it moves up a place.
And I believe Nick Damon is there.
Certainly am waiting here as Thomas Yeager gets out and Sean Edwards gets in. He says it's quite difficult, but he's doing a good job despite being 6 foot and some inches, depending on how tall he wants to say he is. Quick tyre change. Everything seems in order. None of the strakes are missing from the front of the car. It's got a bit of damage from being shot with rubber at high speed, but nothing that's going to take any performance out of the car. First door down, second door down, car fired up. And away, and again, just picked that one up. Now I think he'll go down at the fuel stop, and again, much quicker than the number 1 car that's also doing a driver change and tyres. They appear to have a problem on the rear right of that car. The car can't run it 4th. York Muller's got out of that car. I don't know who's in it at the moment. They've now trying to get round it, see if they can get the car. But again, the timing of pits has cost car 1 hugely throughout the whole course of this race, be it extra brake changes, car drops down, and I reckon they probably lost 20 to 25 seconds on the number 3 car.
More than that, they lost probably close to 45 seconds.
Yeah, of course, their competition is not so much the number 3 car as the one that's stopping it, or not, as the case may be, from getting onto the podium, which is the number 16 Mercedes, the second Heiko car, and Simonsen in that at the moment.
Second place, Mercedes-Benz, just going through the haze there, and another stop-go penalty. This is the
28.
Porsche number 28. Thanks, Jim. The door just came up as I glanced down at it. And
inconveniently standing right in front of you.
yes, exactly. Seems the clerks of the course are getting a little teed off with persistent offenders, and have decided to stamp their authority on the last couple of hours of the race. I don't have any problem with that. I think it's good that people aren't allowed, even at this stage, to take any liberties with the rules and regulations. I'm guessing it'll be for either going off course or pit lane speeding.
It's a 1-minute penalty.
Okay. And out goes the number 28 Porsche out of the box. It is still the number 3 Mercedes-Benz in the fueling area. So that's something we're not used to seeing, taking a penalty and then going straight to the pit box.
Yes, which you're allowed to do when it's a stop and hold, but you're not allowed to do if it's a drive-through. You saw on the screen that the 5 car...
Well, he wasn't allowed to go to the fuel.
Well, or to his... If it's a BOP, you can't do any service.
Okay, so you're not allowed to have any advantage.
You can't go to the pits. It's a drive-through. It's a penalty.
Honda Integra, proudly wearing the Evo logos on the front there. I noticed this is the lap 57 racing team. They are in second place at the moment and only a lap away from the Mini that leads the category. That's the number 80 Bezoplas Racing Team. And this is going to be a real this
Local entry.
this could be their last stop, of course, if the fuel will go that long. Nick Damon is hustling down there.
Well,
And,
just going to try and grab a word with the driver. Obviously,
that is indeed the last stop.
that's impressive, that 57 car. That's carried on going.
That's
Yes,
a
sir.
local driver, Amir
Let
Khan.
me,
Sorry, Nick.
take you through. First of all, you just got out of the car. I'm sorry, can I ask you which one of the 5 drivers you are?
Sorry?
Which one of the 5 drivers?
Rupesh, the last one.
Rupesh. Rupesh, tell us a little about this 57 entry. It's going very well.
Sorry?
Tell us about this 57 entry. It's going very well.
Yeah, thing is we did a lot of research and it's our third session over here. So a lot of research and development went in. So this time the engine went on pretty well, and same with the gearbox. Lots of issues we had on the earlier races were rectified on this. Yeah.
Now, you're only a lap behind the leader in class. Can you still win?
We'll try our best. We'll try our best. Got our best driver out there. So let's go for it.
So, Rupesh, you said you've been here 3 times. Have you always come with the same car, or have you changed classes?
This is a different car. The previous 2 were 2 different, another car. This time we changed the car to see how it is.
Are you local to Dubai, or do you travel here?
No, we are resident here.
So, who's taking the car to flag? Your best driver? What's his name? Who is your best driver? What's his name?
Amir Khan. He's the touring car champion.
That is a good driver. We wish you the best of luck and hope the fight really livens up. Now we've got a class fight. That's what we want to see, because those things mean sometimes even more than when the pros fight.
Well, the UAE Total Touring Car Championship is pretty impressive and, yeah, certainly competitive. One of the UAE National Race Day Championships, which has 2-wheel action as well as 4. The Superbike and 600cc classes are a phenomenal piece of entertainment, and just testament again to how this part of the world is trying to grow the audience for motorsport generally. Paul?
Yeah, the pit stops we've just seen have played into the hands of the Porsche number 18 from the Fach Autotech team. Carlo Lissa, the driver at the moment. Pretty sure he has now moved up ahead of the BMW number 1 of Edvard Stanstrom. This is one of those cars that plays a different kind of strategy game to the others, because it doesn't go as quickly, but it stays out there for longer, and it has a more efficient fuel economy. So we'll see that car moving up into 4th place. It will eventually have to come in and make its pit stop, but it has got up into 4th place, demoting the number 1 car just for a little while. But when it does come in, I'm pretty sure that it will be making its final pit stop as well. So they'll be putting as much fuel into it as they're allowed to, putting the final driver in, and then it will be going to the flag, which will be the sort of big moment for the mechanics when they can say, well, barring anything else going wrong, we'll be able to get this one to the flag. And this car, the Porsche number 18, has had a very good run so far. And my guess is they'll put Martin Rattinger in it when it comes in. Not being able to quite hold the pace of the Mercedes and BMWs up ahead of it, but on a reliability run, on a fuel efficiency run, that Porsche's gone very well indeed.
Doing a terrific job, and as we look at the top 4, it says Edvard Sandstrom behind the wheel of 1 car. That may indeed be running. Maybe Nick can check that out. Another drive-through penalty for the number 9 car for balance of performance problems. And in the last hour here, we haven't seen anyone get anywhere close to their balance of performance number. Most everyone's close to a 205 that are in the top group of 4, and we're seeing 206.8, 206.2, 207.5. So everyone's playing very cautious.
it's one of those things at this time that you can win big, but you can lose big, can't you? And the guys at the head of the field have got everything to lose.
I think what worries me a little bit, John, is that Jim and I have been watching the screens, and there's even actually, have we seen? No, we might have seen some joker times being played right towards the end.
Right.
But I'm just surprised if you were going for a joker time, you'd actually kind of go for a proper joker time, as we saw from Peter Cox. And going for a joker, and go for a joker time where all you do is to beat your minimum by half a second.
That's just a mistake.
Looks like it's a mistake, but maybe that's what that's what the joker was introduced for. It was for accidental breaking of the time, and so
if you hammer it too hard, you're kind of taking the mick out of the spirit of the rule, and that's not really.
That's exactly right, and yes, I mean, in my view, with the spirit of this event, the way it's been run, I would suggest that what will be done if the organisers are not happy is that they'll just have a quiet word with the team manager concerned. They'll be advised of their responsibilities to the sport and to the event, and the spirit is very good here. I'm sure that would work.
Thomas Enger just had a 2:17. Did he have a little whoopsie? Because he may have dropped a little further back in this battle for 6th and 7th position. Watching the number 5, this is the second of the Saudi Falcons by Sherbert Z4s. And here's a bit of action from just a few moments ago, down the back straight into the braking area. That's the 122 BMW. Oh, look at the Mercedes-Benz behind it. That is the lead car. And look how that Mercedes was shifting around there under braking. That looked very uncomfortable indeed for Sean Edwards. He's been here before, of course, as that number 1 car has pulled itself back now to just 5 laps behind. But Edwards, with a 2:09 last time around, dropped a bit of real estate to this car.
Did Nick confirm this?
I didn't hear if he did.
No, he didn't confirm it, but we did hear quite clearly from Claudia Hurtgen that she was intending to get into the car. So, and that car's driver ID system has been playing up over the course of the event. So I think we'll guard our counsel for the moment.
Edward Sandstorm would be a good bloke at the moment. Here it is again from further back, and look at this. That is the further back up the straight, and that's the first time. Is the shifting hanging down off the back of the lead car there, or was that just Sean keeping well out of getting involved with any argy-bargy with a car that's coming through to unlap itself?
The 2:09, I think he's being very conservative.
Another stop-go penalty, this time for the number 18 Porsche. This is 5th position, and he was only 27 seconds behind the BMW in 4th, the car that we're watching at the moment.
He's been there a minute.
The Thomas Enger 7th place car, still not lapping at full speed, only 2:11 last time around.
I wonder if it's getting slippery out there.
I think you might be right. And some cars, I wonder if it's better to be on old tyres. The cars on newer tyres,
oh yeah, that's a good,
seem to be doing slightly better. Let's see if that plays out. That may be complete coincidence.
Well, it might be harder to bring the new ones up to temperature.
Okay. On to the start and finish line. The 2 Saudi Falcons cars appear to be running in team formation now, 1 and 5. Opportunity. Oh, look at those flags on the start-finish line. It's really beginning to blow up from behind us. That is coming up from the south. And once again, it's got very dark very quickly. In the distance, we can still see the sunshine towards the coast. But here at the circuit, it's gone a bit grey.
18 car now on 2 minutes now.
Let's go down to the pit lane and find out what's going on in the lead car.
Thanks, John. Yes,
Sean Edwards
with Thomas Yeager here.
2:07.5 last time around. Are there any problems? Nick Damon has the last driver in that car. Thomas Yeager, he'll find out.
Thomas, we're looking out on the track, and it seems that this dust is making it very, almost greasy. Is that how you would see it?
Yeah, it's really, the track is really slippery, and especially a little bit offline. It's a lot of rubber because of many cars, 24 hours. And it's quite tricky because if you go a little bit offline, all the pickup is on the tire, and then you lose 3-4 seconds a lap. And especially while overtaking, you really have to be careful in the end.
Now you've managed to get a bit of a cushion. We've just seen that Sean's let a couple of people de-lap themselves. Are you now just playing out for the next hour and 40 minutes and just trying not to go too fast?
Exactly, yeah. We have to save the material. We want to be sure that we finish and we have a little bit of a gap, and hopefully it will work out.
And will there be one more stop, or will Sean take it to the end?
No, we have to make one more stop.
Is it you?
No, I'm done.
Thanks very much. It's going to be, I think, looking at, it's actually going to be, they're going to let Khaled Al-Kabazi take the car back, but he will be seeing some, the dust. Wow, John, the dust is unbelievable. The visibility is now not very good to the end of the pit lane. I don't know whether Jürgen can film this. Jürgen, just run the camera so you point down the pit lane, come out, and just the visibility is virtually, it's like a foggy day in London, but it's obviously 25 degrees, which is quite nice. I've never seen that, and that is far worse. After that brief period of getting better, it's now getting worse again.
Yeah, and you can see the cars that have their headlights on really standing out. Our cameras make it look better. It's much better to the camera than it is to the naked eye. And those headlights are really starting to become important for the Sean Edwards car, as into the pit lane with damage is the 32. Coming into the pit lane, the 22, excuse me, that's one of our camera cars. He's 3 wheels on his wagon. Now, that 22 car, what has happened to that? That was
massive
one of our camera
accident
cars earlier on, and he's got bad damage to the left rear. Nick Dermott is down there.
But notice the wheels come off. Those nuts are sheared. The nuts have sheared off. So Alexei Basov has had a bit of a shock there, because that is not someone not doing the wheel up. That's the nuts have sheared off one by one. So if that's contact or not, I mean, it's an interesting point. But have they actually pulled through, or have they? Is it a drill in or is it drill out? You just go look at the other wheels. That's typical. Of course, they're the locators. It's centrally rim locked. Sorry, that's the locators. But it's got, the thread on the central hub nut has completely gone. So that's going to need a new inner hub before that's going anywhere. There's no thread for a central wheel to actually get onto. Just checking around the other side, they spin round now. This car, John, I mean, I don't know how this is doing in its particular class, but it's going to be in here. It's going to be in here for a long time, from 8th to 9th. Yeah, I mean, that's they're trying to get the central hub pin off, and this is quite an interesting move. They've got must have happened before. They got exactly the right tool out almost immediately. This extending straight hex bar, and now they're using a good old-fashioned lump hammer to knock off the air gun. So there's half of the thing was repaired. Rear suspension, which we can see for the first time, actually looks absolutely fine. A lot of skipping mechanics, a lot of shouting. This is quite a shouty team as well. We've had a few of those. But so you see it now, how little of the rear of the car was available. They should be all right, actually. I think that if they can replace the hub, they can patch up the hole and get to the end. But the hub obviously has sheared in a way, whereas you can see, getting the damn thing off is the nightmare. This reminds me of when I managed to get a oil filter completely stuck on the bottom of my car once, and you just couldn't get the thing off. And even when you stuck the screwdriver through it, I took the face full of oil, it still didn't work. 1980s car mechanics. Kids today don't know they're born.
So as the, well, hammer and chisel to a race car, you know things aren't going
Love
well.
it. A Porsche especially.
Yeah, those are precision instruments. That is
not being used in a precision
of a moment. Still the 18 is standing there, by the way. That's 6 minutes it's been standing.
Now, 7 minutes. In fact, the driver's been there so long they brought him water. So this has got to be this must be some sort of huge infraction, and it's going to play right into the hands of Thomas Enga, because Enga will be able to come through and possibly into a top 5 position. This is amazing. I've never seen such a penalty. 7.5 minutes now. Next year we have to have some direct communication to the organizers so we can figure out what's happening.
Yes, I mean, I'm
7:45 now.
I'm attracted by your suggestion earlier on, Jim, that what they may be doing is to gather together everything that's been done wrong over the course of the 24 hours and lumping it all together in a single penalty. Yeah, it's. I don't know, my thought would be that it's either a yellow flagging from, or it's a speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, but now 8 minutes 15 seconds. So.
But no, you're absolutely right.
Is through into sixth. Peter Cox is the next one to come through in fourth.
Peter Cox has got a long way to go. I think.
Sorry, I'll tell a lie. He's not through yet. Looking at the wrong car.
Yeah.
I was looking.
He's up to sixth though because he just didn't get by the 20 because
Just
the
did,
20
just
did it.
pitted.
Yeah. So the 18 will be next.
Thomas has only been in the car half an hour,
Oh, he's still got
so he could do the last.
7 laps.
He can do the rest of the race though.
He can't quite.
And there you see the 18.
Have they parked him for the whole race?
9 minutes now.
9 minutes. It's going to be a 10-minute hold. I can only imagine that. Nick maybe can have a word with someone in a shirt and a blazer.
Or someone from the crew.
The crew might not ripple. That's the problem.
Maybe going back for more water for the driver.
I actually do know who to ask here. Who's the guy with the one with the broken leg?
3 car, Sean Edwards still circulating. Here comes the 5 car back down the road. Looks like he's going to be just serving a drive. No, he's going to the tank, so that wasn't the drive. He's going straight to the tank. So,
Now we have the answer on the penalty for the 18 car, which is still ongoing.
Driving too fast during the code 60. Now, I can't help thinking that a single offence, that's a bit severe, so perhaps they did it more than once, because, you know, going a little bit quick, I know it's like passing under yellows, effectively, so I suppose, yes, you should get a stop and go, but not 10 minutes.
well, but, you know, they leave it to their own devices, so they probably make the penalty for it pretty draconian.
Yeah, I suspect you're right, Nick, in that it will be a cumulative one, and that they'll have collected in the various reports from the various marshal posts, because it's the marshals that make. Actually, it's not the marshals, because I did speak to them, and it's not the marshals that make the decision, it's the timekeepers that make the decision.
It's very easy to keep track.
Most of the time, when we've had code 60s, it's only been a code 60 for less than 2 laps. So you don't actually have a whole lap that's effective. Right? So it's quite easy to
fudge one or two.
But because we had that long period,
One long and then one alone.
I suspect that's where this car has fallen foul of that
11
regulation.
minutes now. 11 minutes.
They're just going to park them for the amount of time that we were under code 60. I think that's the easiest thing to do. Well, we're heading towards, in fact, we're inside the last 90 minutes. There'll be no changing ends at half-time. In this one, we're going all the way to the flag here at the Dunlop Dubai 24 hours at radiolemont.com. And if you'd like to get in touch with us at Spectainment or at Radio Le Mans, or go to radiolemont.com on the forum, and let's hear what you think about what you've seen so far and your predictions of what may yet be to come as we get ready to crown the champions for the 2012 edition of this race. So Sean Edwards has been in the car but 19 minutes on the stint. Who needs to be out? Well, Klaus Dieter Freers has been in an hour and a quarter in the 38th car, down in 11th position.
Edwards could go by his driving time all the way to the finish, but I don't think he can make it on his time. 12 minutes, and the 18 car has been released.
minutes.
Yeah.
I just said he's listening on the internet. He'll get it any second now. Watch.
The regulation says that the sanction for exceeding the speed limit during the code 60 is a time penalty of at least 10 seconds. The clerk of course can increase this time penalty with the double value of the encountered advantage when driving too fast. So he was obviously deemed to have gained an advantage of 6 minutes by driving too fast, which must be a consistent...
Yeah, he probably consistently went too fast for multiple laps.
So, let's check for these fast battles. One thing that will pay off when we come back with the TV in a couple of moments' time, VDS Racing Mustang got out without losing its second position as the second place Mercedes-Benz heads in towards pit lane.
This should be its final stop, and it's going to serve a penalty. Isn't it interesting that one of the crew guys from their car is down to blow air?
Very, very good. Very, very good.
So they obviously, the team knew, because they sent somebody down to...
Coming up on the, those aren't coming up on the timing screen though, so they're obviously going up somewhere. So inside the last 90 minutes, and will this race be characterised in the last hour and a half by lots and lots of penalties? We've got two cars standing at the moment. The Porsche number 18 has just had a 12-minute stop for breaching the code 60 regulations. The 103, which is still the leader in SP2.
45 minutes.
That's the 103, the Megane. And this car has just come into the pit lane. This is second position. And coming out of laps. He's already a minute and a half. And I wonder if this is all the code 60 violations from earlier on that the timekeepers have worked through. Interesting that they put the stop go penalties in the last 2 hours so you can't play your jokers to get them back. I kind of like that. I hope that's what they've been thinking, because they really have made sure that the penalties stick.
Here comes the 80 car making its final pit stop, the leader in the A2 category, the Vesa class Mini, number 80. So
still the 6-6 penalty box over 2 minutes now.
I think they just told him to fire it up.
Interesting to see that the team have brought the leaf blower down there. That's not to make sure that the garden is clean. That's to make sure there's cool air going in the front of the Mercedes-Benz. Will it fire? Yes, it will. Don't speed. Don't speed.
2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Well, those seem, I think these are all code 60 violations. So in it comes to its pit stop. Nick David is there.
I am, so that's another little hiccup. Now, of course, what we don't know is whether the number 3 car might get called as well. Because I don't see it losing any time during the code 60 number 6 car. We are assuming it's a code 60 violation. Quite a simple run through there. Driver out, Bernd Schneider in. I think it's Bernd. Yes, it is. He will take home this number 6 car, which should be good for the podium, barring any more infringements. Down the way, fresh tyres. Off you go, Bernd. Run for the last 85 minutes. And he's gone. Now, if we just walk a bit further this way, so I can gather Jürgen with me. He's showing it going. They like to see the guy. Actually, one thing you can see from that is actually how the visibility's improved again. The dust has dropped quite dramatically after that flurry we had 10 minutes ago. And if we go to the about 2 pits on, we will see that the 27 pit is now empty again. As they have managed to get the car out, and apparently they've actually retained the second place in class. He's got some guests at the moment. The other thing I just saw, John, which is massively good news, is the 107 NASCAR's back and running on its 4th gearbox.
Thank you, Nick. Yeah, you're right, the 27 VDS machine. That is the stock car of which we spoke. Gearbox number 4. Not quick round the corners, but my goodness, does it go well down the straight. It's the...
Seriously, gearbox number 4?
Yes.
Obviously not using Jericho mounts.
I
think it's not used to going around corners.
It's the last one, because the team manager came on in one of our interviews and he said, we've effectively retired, but we've got one more gearbox left, so the idea is to bring it out with the last gearbox. So be gentle with this one, chaps.
Watch it down the straight, though, going into the big long left-hander that curves back onto the start-finish straight. The Audi behind it will be cursing its luck here, trying to get up the inside. But watch the black car on the left punch out. Well, he's lifted off a bit there, I think, to help the guys. You saw he was starting to pull away. Behind him as well is the 25 of Peter Cox, who threads the needle and goes by both of them.
I think he's being a sportsman.
I think he is.
Staying out of the way.
Staying out of the way, because that car was hauling down that back straight earlier on. One of the fastest things we've seen in a straight line. Just to pay off what we were talking about with the Mustang, Nick was talking about with the Mustang. They are now on lap 5:05. They are 6 laps now ahead of Brian Heintkotter in the number 100 Nissan in 3rd place. And I think it'll be Jan Mardenborough who brings that car home. Pit lane interview with Nick Damon.
With here with Faisal bin Laden, the driver, well, almost in both the Saudi Falcons car. Faisal, the great hopes of the weekend have kind of disappeared, haven't they?
Well, I wouldn't take anything out of the game. There's still a little bit of time, and anything could happen, really.
Now, the number 5 car, that is out, that had a new engine came in, and then you went out for a play, didn't you? Because you weren't bothered about lap time. Well, these are jokers. You blew all the jokers, then got some drive-throughs.
Yeah, well, that was the whole point. We wanted to get the fastest lap of the race. At least it did something throughout the weekend. And really, it's just fun for all the drivers to have fun in the car and see what we can do.
Oh, it's a fantastic attitude. But looking at the number 1 car, the car was really in total contention until that slight pneumatic or electrical problem. Do you think you can still get further up? Is the podium on?
Well, I hope so. We're pushing hard. The last stint, I'll drive the last stint. Hopefully we can keep it up there, and hopefully someone will have some trouble. And
don't forget 2:05. That's the limit for the last stint.
Sorry?
Don't forget 2:05. That's the limit.
Well, you never know.
Thank you, fantastic. Best luck for your last stint. What a great guy.
Paul.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Faisal is right to be optimistic, because the number 1 BMW, which is still being shown as being Edward Sandstrom in there, but we're fairly sure it's Claudia Hurtgen driving it, is closing in efficiently and in typical Germanic fashion on another Mercedes, which is in 3rd place. It's looking to get that final podium position. It is 38 seconds now behind, and there's enough time left, with still an hour and 20 minutes of the race remaining, for that BMW, if it can continue to close at this rate on the second of the Heiko Mercedes, for it to snatch that podium position. As I say, it's 38 seconds out of sight up the road, but it's the sort of gap that will come down at 1.5 seconds a lap, 2 seconds a lap, 1 second a lap. It'll all do, it'll go into the pot and add it up cumulatively over the remainder of the race. It could still enable that number 1 car, the Saudi Falcons by Schubert BMW Z4, to get itself onto a podium position, which we were saying earlier on, you need a target to motivate yourself.
Boy, that's a Porsche crabbing now. He's got a flat left. He's got a left rear suspension that isn't working.
And that's right at turn number 1. He's going to have to do a whole lap in that car. This is a 22 car that we've just seen with the suspension damage, and I don't think they've fixed that. Remember, this had the hub was not holding the wheel on, and it looks like they haven't quite fixed that. The chisel and hammer was not the precision instrument that they needed for that Porsche.
Looks like Danica.
I would say, it looks like he's on ice, doesn't it? I would say slow down, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That is the most unbelievable onboard I've ever seen.
It's a motor race, John. Slow down.
Yeah, but wait till it snaps again and you lose the wheel.
Throw yourself into the fence.
It's about to break is the problem, isn't it?
This is the car that is ninth. Andrea Krusnik is driving that at the moment. He's on for a top 10 finish in class and overall. Now, okay, bad luck that he's had that hub failure before. It's this left rear wheel that we'll see wobbling around. It's on the other side of the car now, unfortunately, from us. As into the pit lane for the final time comes the Gamer Nissan number 100, the American winner from this year's GT Academy. Brian Heitkotter gets out, and I think it's Jan Markberg that's getting in, Nick.
About this pit stop is I can't remember seeing this many cameras around any car in a pit stop since I stopped doing Formula One. It's quite remarkable. There are so many. It's got not only the interest, obviously, of the guys who are filming for the Road to Dubai program, but it's also got the interest of the local TV companies, a vast number of photographers. Everyone wants to get a piece of the story. And I know we've majored on it. I know we're sponsored by Nissan, but it really is one of those true sort of fairy tale dream come true environment that we can all relate to. Because let's be honest, we'd all much rather be in that car than doing what we're doing at the moment, wouldn't we, John?
Maybe.
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 I've heard some fibbing in my life.
Now, here is the 22 car. He's been at around half the lap. Look at that left rear wheel. At the moment, it's playing ball. But any second now, when he puts his foot down or when he turns the corner, you will see it moves in a most unreal wheel-like way. Watch. Careful with the throttle. Oh, there it goes. It flicks to the back and looks all calm and collected inside the car at the moment. And this is, he's just, as soon as he starts going around the right-handers, it starts wobbling around. He's got left on. He's made it to the pit lane. The 22 Porsche in 9th position. This the Tsunami RT in the pit lane, which means that we can go back to Nissan and to the American winner of GT Academy for Nissan this year, the number 100 still, third in SP2. Nick Damon.
Ryan, you're still third in SP2, almost got second with the Mark VDS having problems, but you must have thought this was going to be an easy session, you know, in the light, with the dust and the dust storm. What was it like?
Well, it's never easy. You know, it's getting pretty warm again out there, and you know, there's always a little bit of traffic to deal with, but it's let up a little bit. But yeah, so far so good. The car's been running like clockwork today, and hopefully in an hour and quarter to go, we'll stay in third.
Now, it was noticeable here that the dust was reducing visibility. Was it the same in the car?
I'm sorry?
Was the dust reducing the visibility in the car?
A little bit, but it's not bad. You can still see pretty clearly most of the time.
So this is obviously, you're not going back in the car again. This is the end of the Road to Dubai for you, apart from hopefully standing on the podium. How do you feel?
Well, I just want to say what a privilege it is to be part of the GT Academy and the first all-gamer driving team. It's been awesome so far. I just hope, you know, fingers crossed that we'll land on the podium at the end of it.
Right, thanks for being a gentleman. And I think, you know, I think all of us probably wish the same thing, but then again, we also like the Mark VDS car as well, because the Mustang. Decisions, both on the podium, that's the result.
Tearing down in the pit lane, there is the VDS team. They have got laps in hand on the Nissan. That's the team car behind it, the 120. That's not had a clean run of the three Nissans. The 100 cars had the best run, and that is the second place car in the SP3 category. We're closing in on the distance record, of course, Paul. That's not got far to go.
No, we're currently on lap 598, or at least the race leader's on lap 598, which means he's exactly 10 laps away from breaking the distance record that was set here in Dubai in 2010. So it's potentially going to happen at about 5 past 1 at that rate, rather than 1/4 past 1. Unless there's a sudden rainstorm. Doesn't seem that likely somehow, does it?
It's really biblical if it was.
I mean, I must say that the way that Sean Edwards and the whole of that Black Falcon team has been going, they just haven't really put a foot wrong. I was saying earlier on that they've optimised everything. I said it. But they've optimised everything. They've made all the small parts work. attempts to close the gap between itself and the number 16 Mercedes, which is not that far up the road. It's only 35 seconds up the road now. When last I talked about it, it was 37 seconds up the road. If you go back 5 laps, it was 40 seconds up the road. So little by little, bit by bit, the number 1 BMW then closing in on the Mercedes ahead of it, aiming to stop Mercedes having a total lockout of the top 3 positions, which is the position as it is at the moment, with an hour and a quarter, just under an hour and a quarter of the race remaining. This is the sort of time where you have to be oh so careful, keep your concentration up. Not only keep your own concentration up, but be aware that
there's debris on the circuit there, and that's exactly what you're talking about, Paul, as that little
not only your
Honda
own concentration,
exactly,
but also the fact that somebody else's concentration may be wandering.
Well, and just imagine if the lead car had been coming down the inside there, they come over the top of the brow, there's a bit of debris from one of the cars there. The little Honda has to jink to the right. You know, you can't take anything for granted, even at this time in the race.
Absolutely right. There's the third place car. That's
where bits of debris come from.
Exactly.
It's the back of the Hamburg Aston Martin.
That's a cut tire waiting to happen.
Upgrade, it says on the back of there. I think Marek Reichman, who designs the beautiful Aston Martin cars, and who I think that was his first car, the Vantage, the V8 Vantage. I think he might disagree. I think the aerodynamicist may disagree as well, actually.
I think somebody there with a sense of humor in that team.
I'm surprised they didn't put the number of the car that caused it. That's the normal thing, is to put ouch or thanks number 50, whatever, you know. It's a very, very good looking car, that. Ultimately, it's a great base for a sports car. It's got a transaxle, it's got a dry sump, it's got the steering rack in the right place, and good balance of weight.
I want some taste.
The new V12 engine GT3 car will be at the Nürburgring 24 hours this year, I am sure. And I would be surprised if we don't see a number of examples of Aston Martin GT3s and GT4s here at the Dubai 24 year for the 8th edition in 2013. I can't believe we're talking about 2013 already. I haven't got used to saying 2012 yet.
We're not even 15 days in.
So you don't write checks anymore either, so you don't write the date as much, you know? Always the first week of the year you get the year wrong, Paul.
Yeah, the Claudia Hürtgen, let's say it's her in that BMW number 1, she's shaving the tenths down to 2 minutes 5.343 on that last lap, just 0.3 of a second outside her limit, and so she's going to have to be a wee bit careful there. Now this is getting interesting. Message on the screen asking the team manager for car number 6 to report to the clerk of the course. This is the second placed Mercedes SLS AMG, which is the car that Jim and I saw going underneath the minimum reference lap, and the rule is after you've done that, you've got an hour to submit your written report to say that you want to use a joker. And,
oh, really? That's how that works.
Yeah, so the team manager has to submit an item in writing to say, I would like to use a joker, and that's what triggers it. So I just wonder whether team manager of car number 6 hasn't written his report saying, I submit a joker, because he didn't have any left. It's a speculation on my part, but the second place car, team manager, has to report to the clerk of the course. He's got a 1 lap cushion between himself and third place, but of course third place is a subject of some dispute in any case between the team car, the other Heiko Mercedes, and the number 1 BMW. So plenty of life in this yet. Who said the last hour of a 24-hour race is always dull and boring? I
can't remember the last one that I was at that was, and I've been to quite a few in the last decade.
It is Edward Sandstrom in the car, by the way.
Thank you.
Number 1. Thank you, Nick.
Well, if Weisel's going to get in, then Claudia Hürtgen basically is going to be shut up.
quick word as we're coming down to the last hour. We've got Joe Osborne from Optimum Motorsport. We'll grab him in a moment as he's just wandered up here. We still have about 15-20 minutes to go to the distance record. We'll be making history here in so many different ways. Joe, can we put a headset on here, sir? Delighted to have you back. And welcome back to Motors TV, Radio Morning, our international coverage of Dubai 24 with Dunlop. The trophies, if you just look over the top, are glinting provocatively in the sunshine. Don't want to put the mockers on you, but very well done so far. Up to 15th position overall and 9 laps ahead of the opposition. How has it been going? A lot of penalties being thrown out by the clerks of the course at the moment. Are you confident that you guys haven't done anything wrong in code 60 or any of the lap times?
Yeah, obviously we're playing pretty safe now. We took another minute at the pit stop just to check the car over, so we're in no rush. Obviously making sure no one was touching the car it shouldn't be. And yeah, I think we're pretty confident now. We've backed the pace off for the last 2 hours now, so the car is feeling good. I actually was in it about 30 minutes ago and actually felt like it did at the start, which is pretty rare. So yeah, we're pretty confident, but there's still, what, 50...
Not just over an hour.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting.
Got pretty nasty with the dust blowing across the circuit, got dark. I presume the circuit got a bit slippery out there as well.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, I got out on the circuit about 2 hours ago and it seemed to be just as a huge gust of wind literally engulfed the pit straight with dust. And it was something like days of thunder at one point. You couldn't actually see where you're going. But no, it's fine. And we struggle a bit in the genetic because the only way we cool down is with a napper duct in the window. Yeah. So it gets blown straight in the face. So you have to put your visor down to stop it going in your eyes. And then you get just as hot as you were if you didn't have the air. So a proper catch-22 of those.
Yeah, absolutely. How has the morning or the rest of the night and the morning gone for you? Is those are the hours, aren't they? That early morning hour up to the daylight, that things you just want to get the daylight, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually the first 24-hour race we've got this far. The only one we've done previous is Quick Time. We retired after 4 hours, so we're still pretty light when we were going home.
Yeah, but as Hugh Chamberlain always says, if you're going to retire while the pubs are still open. That's
wise man.
No point in getting to 2 hours before the end and feeling the disappointment 3 times over. What's been your impressions and... Well, actually, we'll keep you because we're going to nip to a commercial break in a moment. But very quickly, what's been the impressions of this race?
Yeah, superb. Really, really well organised. Great turnout from all the teams. Hugely professional as well. I think it's definitely a step on from what we've seen elsewhere. So very impressed. Well,
good luck for the rest of the race. I can't say that to you without jinxing you out, I'm sure. Joe, take back our best wishes to everybody in the number 116 Optimum Motorsport pit, and good luck to you, mate. Thanks for being with us.
Cheers, guys.
So Joe Osborne from the class-leading 116 Ginetta with us there. So Sean Edwards still leads by some 5 laps now, but what a great set of people those guys at Optimum are.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. They've had a great run. I tell you, if he was a Creature Comforts character, he'd probably be like a Mastiff or something. He's got that great voice. Yeah.
That's very good. We should put some video together. Like that idea.
Creature Comforts does motorsports.
Yeah.
The 41 car made a pit stop and served a 1 minute and 45-second penalty. That's significant because that's the leader in the 997 class. Not going to adversely affect them, however, because they have a huge lead. So the 40 car about a 35-lap lead. So it's not going to be an issue. The 118 now serving a penalty. So for 4th place in SP3. Let's see. He's got a huge advantage over the next car, the 125 racing. Tell you, that nervous
lapping nice and consistently. 2:09 last time around, 2:08 this. As the traffic begins to build here, coming towards the last hour, an hour and 2 minutes still to go. 60 minutes of racing still to come from the Dunlop Dubai 24 Hours here at RadioLeMans.com, broadcasting endurance racing all the way around the world. Paul Trustwell, we've got just over an hour to go, and we're closing in on that distance record. Anything else we should be looking at?
I'm continuing to monitor the progress of Edward Sandstrom. Extremely strong drive, extremely consistent. I mean, he's not shaving that time, the minimum lap time, as much as Bernd Schneider did earlier on. But what he is doing with the BMW is to just get close without really putting it in any danger, pushing without risk is the phrase that springs to mind. 2 minutes 5.3 is his target time, I reckon. And if you'd have told him to go for 2 minutes 5.3, that's exactly what he's been doing. And he's closing in, taking at least a second a lap, and he's been doing that now for practically an hour, I guess, because that's when I first mentioned it. Certainly he's been doing it for 3/4 of an hour. And the time keeps on coming down, keeps on coming down. It was over a minute when he started this charge, and it's down to less than half a minute. So he's halfway there. He's still got an hour of the race to go. So there is time. He's going to have to do another pit stop before the end of the race, but then so is that number 16 car. So that's something that we've got to keep our eyes open for, because there is a place on the podium at stake. And also just thought that somehow the Heiko team manager, who's been invited to see the clerk of the course, has got to come up with an explanation which is going to prevent one or other of these cars from getting a penalty of some sort, whether it's as simple as a drive-through or not, we'll have to wait and see. But now a drive-through for the number 16 car, for example, would bring it right within range of the number 1 car, because the number 1 car is now less than half a minute, so it would work. It's an entirely feasible thing.
Coming up on 1 hour to go, 12 seconds. We will be right there with 23 hours complete, 1 hour to go in the 7th running of the Dunlop 24 Hours of Dubai. And there's the magic number, 59 minutes, 57 seconds to go in this one.
604 laps completed at that point, so practically an hour. Another 4 laps until we hit the distance record, but certainly if you compare it to last year's race, 2011, we're already ahead of the distance that they did in last year's Dubai 24 Hours, and such has been the pace that within 23 hours they can do the same distance that they did last year in 24. Screen shows us the pit stop Peter Cox getting out of the Reiter Engineering Lamborghini, number 25.
He's done been pretty impressive. To always get thumbs up from the team. Well done.
The fastest lap, Nick, with a 2 minutes 1.921 in the race.
Peter, skulking off. Come back to me in a second.
2 minutes 1.191. That's what we're looking at. 921, sorry.
And the 26 car, John, is Mark Patterson.
Is it Mark Patterson in that when it's had problems?
To the pits, and he's now...
no look.
Yeah, he's being penalized. He's being held now. He's been held for a minute. One of the crew guys is down there. No air conditioning brought down, but just a pit board for him to stop at in the penalty box. Trying to keep the routine the same, I guess. As we see now, the 3 car continuing to circulate in 605 laps. There's a 4-lap advantage of Bernd Schneider, the number 6 car. Then it gets down to the interesting part. We've got Anders Simonsen in 3rd place, number 16, Heiko SLS Mercedes on 600 laps. And then 1 lap back is Edward Sandstrom in the number 1 BMW. Actually, he's not really back. He's down 27 seconds back. So as he crosses the line, that gives us the time for him. 27 seconds back. So that's the...
Come out, there we are. Peter wants to see that he's managed to bring his car into 8th place. Peter Cox, I think, without fear or favour, I can say I think you're the star of the entire weekend. The fastest lap we saw the entire time on Thursday practice, and then you decided to say heck with the Jokers and get the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, I wanted to do that because I wanted to prove that our Reiter Lambo GT3 car was also still fast, you know, at the end of a grueling 24-hour race, you know, that it can withstand all the forces and everything was playing it, and the crashes we had and everything, and the car was still running very well. So I thought, you know, conditions were not ideal, but obviously, you know, happy hour is always just when it gets light, and then everybody was quick, and there was a lot of sand and the temperature went up, but still, I mean, 2 cars only, so we had not a lot of traffic, and it was okay.
You're currently in 8th, you may gain a place. I mean, how do you feel about that? Disappointed or?
Well, I must say I feel pretty relieved because with our, let's say, factory team from Reiter Engineering, we never seem to finish a 24-hour race, and our customers do, which is the good thing around. But it's nice also to finish one time now, maybe. And, you know, we drive with really 2 gentlemen drivers, one with really not a lot of experience, and first time in a GT3 car for a long distance race. So all in all, I can say it was a good effort.
I mean, how did the team work out? Did you split the driving exactly equally, or did the professionals do the nighttime running?
No, I mean, okay, we did comparatively more running, but we split it up completely equally, you know, so our stints were a little bit longer maybe in the beginning and in the night, but they did their fair share of driving, so no, they did really well.
I mean, Peter, it's an interesting question. Do you think with the number of purely professional teams who have come into this race, perhaps we should have 2 classes in GT3, a Pro and a Pro-Am like GTE?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's not up to me to decide. I mean, you know, always with the GT racing, you have the balance of performance to equalize the cars. I must say, you know, there's sometimes criticism on this system. On the other hand, you see how much GT3 cars are running still. You know, so that's also something to think about, you know. I mean, in Spa, where everybody goes flat out, you know, there's a lot of casualties. As here, comparatively, there are much more cars to the finish.
That's a very good point, Peter. Thank you for talking to us, and a great performance weekend. Well done. Yeah, he's my star of the weekend.
I agree with Peter. We put that forward earlier on. I do think that the attrition rate has been helped, and the lack of potential accidents as well has been helped by the way things go, Jim, here. Yeah,
I mean, I really think this is a good formula. I don't think the organizers need to change it a bit. If you, like I said earlier, if you didn't know the 3 car coming on pit road, this should be its final pit stop, right, Paul?
Certainly should. It's less than an hour. It can easily run an hour on the fuel. And
who will get the honour of taking it to the flag, do we think?
Well,
he will
leave Sean Edwards in.
He can't go all the way. He was slightly too early.
Oh, was he? Yeah.
So,
okay. I apologize. I thought he got in right after.
It would probably be Khaled El Khabazi, I think.
Makes
Nick
sense.
Damon.
You're right, John. It is Khaled as we run up from Peter Cox's car to pick up the champion-elect with an hour to go, the Team OW Black Falcon. It's Khaled El Khabazi, who has, of course, not been feeling well through a lot of the time of this race. I think he's been sick, a bit of food poisoning. He's now got a chance to take it back for an hour, and they paced him in. He's got a couple of laps, a bit of a comfortable lead to take this car through to finish. So as long as it keeps it running, and that's a big if, I think they will become the 7th winner of the Dubai 24 Hours.
Always something very, very equal parts honouring and scary and adrenaline firing. They get the last run to the flag in the car that's leading, or indeed any car, because everybody's expectations, Paul, are put on your shoulders, whether you're first or 61st, it's then down to you.
You suddenly realise how heavy the eyes of the world are on the back of your neck, and every move you make is being watched. And
even if that world is just your teammates and mechanics who have toiled all night and for 23 hours to maybe how many times they put the car back together, from how many problems out on the racetrack you might have, it all comes down to you to bring it home to see the magic of the checkered flag in 52 minutes.
yes, the other thing is that, of course, Al Kabaisi will then have the honour of breaking the distance record, because he will be in the car when it comes out at complete 609 laps, is it, optimistically? And that would be the...
See, if Nick were working in American television, he'd be getting scolded right now for giving the event with 52 minutes to go away to a team that might not, in fact, win it.
Indeed.
Probably the producer would have said that loud click you just heard was everybody turning to something else.
Well, but this is the beauty of this, because you can know who's going to win. I mean, it's like watching the film of Titanic, isn't it? I mean, you know how it's going to finish.
I didn't go to it specifically. I kept telling me, you know how it ends. Why?
Well, exactly. But it's the same type of thing.
Well, yes, I'm being in trouble now with the people in the booth, because I say with 52 minutes to go, you're just going to cruise to the victory. First of all, how was your, well, quite pleasant little drive in the country?
Oh yeah, a lot less stressful than the rest of the stints, that's for sure. We just, you know, we're in full safe mode at the moment. We're short shifting everywhere, no curves, no point in taking risks in traffic, nothing. So we've got a 2 or 3 lap lead, so there's no point to take any risks, just cruising around. It's a bit boring, but it's not stressful, thank God.
And you've given Khaled the honour of taking the car home, but more importantly, he's going to be the man who breaks the distance record for the event.
Oh really? I didn't know that actually. Okay, well, even if we're cruising?
Oh
yeah, you can beat it in about 10 minutes time or 5 minutes time.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So a nice record to have for the books, but more importantly, the win. We hope. You know, there's still 30, 40, 50 minutes to go, and there's a lot can still happen. It's a 24-hour race, and I've seen it happen before. I've seen it happen the last lap. So don't count your chickens until they've hatched.
We will not count any chickens. Sean, best of luck, and you're not going to win, don't worry, it's fine. There's no danger of that. A great performance. I think a nice thing to let Khaled take the car home as well after he's had to miss out on some of the running for not feeling well earlier.
Thanks, Nick. Nick down in the pit lane, so Khaled Al-Kabaisi in the Saudi Falklands, in the Black Falcon, excuse me, Abu Dhabi by Black Falcon. It's the first time I've got those mixed up this weekend, and I apologise for that. Thank goodness we didn't do it as they came across the line. 49 minutes to go, and with only 2 laps, guys, between yourself and Bert Schneider, this is by no means a done deal. And I applaud Khaled for getting in and taking this home.
And we're not just trying to manufacture drama here.
No.
I mean, somebody could split that. This car here, the BMW number 51, could blow a tire right there, go to the right, and game over.
The other drama, Jim, is the progress of the number 1 BMW. It's now 23 seconds only short of the number 16. So
he's going to be hard pressed. I think he's going to need some help to get the podium. I just don't think he's. You think he's got enough?
Yeah.
Okay. I trust you.
There's still 48 minutes. He's closing in at 2 seconds a lap. He doesn't close in at 2 seconds a lap. He closes in at 1.5 seconds. I mean, Sandstrom,
but it'll be right down to the short straws.
Has been driving an exemplary race. I mean, we talk about the star of the race being Peter Cox in terms of absolute speed, but I think between them, my awards for sheer consistency would be Sandstrom in the BMW and Bernd Schneider in both of the 2 Heiko cars. He's been very, very solid in both of those. sure he's been over the limit a couple of times, but when he had to make them count, he made them count, and he's contributed hugely to both of those Heiko cars. He's driven both of the cars. He's going to have to stand on 2 sets of the podium at once.
Ah, yeah, good point.
Potentially.
If Sandstrom gets back to a podium position, that would be quite extraordinary. He's got to do it without breaking through his bracket, of course, because there are no second chances.
No, absolutely. But he's the lap time is just so consistent. He oscillates between a 5 minutes 0.3 and a 2 minutes. Sorry, a 2 minutes 5.3 and a 2 minutes 6. Every lap is within that.
And here's the other thing: if he can stay that consistent, he's going to put pressure on Simonson ahead of him to get his lap times down closer. And if Simonson makes a mistake, and even if it's 1/1000th of a second, then that's a 30-second penalty.
Yeah. And Simonson's responded with his fastest lap for a wee while, a 2:05.973 for the third place car. We're watching the leader as well. We might Khaled El-Khawazi quickly run through some of the other class leaders for you. The Optimum Motorsport Ginetta should can go to the end from here, but for the moment it's up in the 14th position and is the first non-A6 car on the general classification with the 997.41.
Respect.
Yeah, Car World Motorsport 997, so now 4 laps behind it.
And that car's been in the pit, sorry to interrupt,
21 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a good point, so that might be a developing story.
Well, he got a huge lead over the 40 car. And he had like a 30-lap lead over the 40 car.
It's not on the pit apron though.
Right, it's back
so it's
to
in the
box.
garage.
So, yeah. Paul, do you have to take the checkered flag to be classified?
I forgot to check that one. Give me 5 minutes and I'll just go through the regulations.
There you go. There's nothing on the pit apron at all, other than at the very far end of the pit lane, the red and white Porsche in the end garage, which I think is the 15 car. No, that's the Cherouz racing car. But really messed me up with the guys at the far end of the field. This is the Hexagon engineering car, I think. The red and white Porsche. That is the only car on the pit apron until the 107 comes in. The DNRT.
2-1 NASCAR stock car.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with a NASCAR.
No, plastic body versus metal, among other things. 2:09.5 for Khaled El-Khawazi that time around. Exactly what he's got to do. Let's get into a groove. Let's short shift. Make sure you use the gearbox correctly. Nice and gentle on your down changes. Schneider with a 7.4, so clearly in traffic there. Simonson in third with a 5.5 and a 5.7 for Sandstrom.
So Simonson has responded to the pressure from Sandstrom and is pulling it back to now 23-second lead. So he is answering. So we'll be watching their time very carefully to see if anybody accidentally busts their bracket.
Now, about 11 hours ago, Paul,
Yes.
you said that the distance record would be broken with about 45 minutes to go. I have to say you weren't entirely right, because it was exactly 45 minutes to go when it was broken. Golf clap for Paul. 610 laps now in the book for Khaled El-Khawazi, a new distance record, beating the previous from 2010.
We're not worthy.
So, fantastically well predicted, Mr. Truswell. By the way, you asked about the year when it was terribly low. It rained that year, is why it was terribly low. I was talking to one of the guys last night. Yes, the whole year, no, the weekend of the race. And there was a lot of code 60 in the rain. Oh, a lot of safety car. There's the leader.
See what I mean?
Not needing to get involved in that. So a new distance record for the leading car, Khaled El-Khawazi, and there will be a lot of these cars in the top 10 who break the old distance record. This has been an extraordinarily clean race, an extraordinarily fast race, despite the fact that some people will say it's been manufactured on lap times. I don't hold with that at all. I think it's different, yes. I'm not saying it's better or worse. I'm just saying it's different, and let's celebrate the difference, guys. Instead of trying to make everything conform, it's another way of doing it, and it certainly, for me, means that there's been more cars at the finish. I like the cars being towed in. I think that there's more cars at the finish because there's been less accidents, because the closing speed and the lap speed differentials is not as big.
At the risk of sounding obsequious here, I like everything about this. I haven't found anything that I would go, they ought to change that, or they ought to adjust that. I think everything that they've done is well thought out, and I think through the 7 years of running this event, they have tweaked things, and what we're seeing this year is the benefit of that tweaking coming home.
I would definitely like to see somebody have a crack at this Code 60 concept as well and take it forward and see what else we can make it work in. It has to be longer races. It's not going to work in sprint races, but I think in longer races, if particularly multi-class racing, there is a place for this. As I've said before, I'm not sure it's the finished article, but it looks pretty good to me, and I think somebody or a group of people may have to sit down and have a look at this and just fine-tune it and sharpen the razor blade a little bit, to use one of Charles's expressions.
I don't want to get into a long discussion about it. If you have a short answer, fine. Do you have a reason why you don't think it would work in sprint races? I think it would work everywhere. But
I think the races, I think it works, right, okay, I'll rephrase that. I think it will work best in A, multi-class, and B, longer races, because it mitigates that whole, it was broken up by the safety car thing. And I think that's one of the greatest assets of it.
Yeah.
Nick Damon.
Actually, you've hit the nail on the head. I think in sprint races, normally the safety car helps the action.
Yeah.
Whereas in endurance racing, it definitely hinders it. And I think certainly the prime example is Le Mans, where you have multi-safety cars. If everybody on a code X had to press a button, like the speed limiter button, on their steering wheel, which limited them to 80 kilometres an hour, say, and they had one, and we have timing now which can catch them within 1/10 of a second, they don't do it, seems to be the perfect solution.
Nick Damon explains it all.
Gold star.
Yeah, well done, mate.
You got out of the dog.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Paul, 40 minutes to go.
And we've got two gaps. No, we've got 3 gaps in the top 20, which are less than a minute. Now, I mean, talking about the formula, any formula which produces that kind of result has got to be a good formula, as certainly Stan Sandstrom continues to close.
Can't disagree with that. We'll talk more about that in the last 40 minutes. Khaled Al-Kabesi still leads by 2 laps here at Dubai. It's RadioLeMans.com. Now, these camels are an integral part of the ceremonies at the end of the race. I have done my research next to a very pretty Hyundai there, and at the end of the race, one of the drivers from each of the podium cars overall will be climbing aboard the camels and be brought to the podium and pit in a very traditional way.
That's something we didn't do. We didn't get a camel.
There's time. There's time. I think a little race down the pit lane on the camels from the lead. down the front straight could be arranged later. Now
They look like a barbershop group.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Trophies all out. We are trying to pick out those gaps, as Paul said. Andrea Kruglish is closing in at a rate of knots now on 11th position, 21 and 22 cars.
Phil
so
tells me that's a local Yala dancing group that will be part of the post-race ceremonies here. The post-race ceremonies here are quite grand. You'll want to stick around for those because it is quite a show. seconds now, Paul. That seems to have leveled out. He got it down to about 20, and then Simonson answered. Evie Sandstrom got the gap down to 20, and then Simonson has answered.
Yeah.
We'll rejoin Nick Damon down in the pit lane with Archie Hamill in just a few moments' time. Indeed, we'll come back to him with Archie Hamilton down in the pit lane in just a second or two.
Now, what Jürgen's showing is something we haven't seen much in this particular golf pit. No cars, because it has been what can only be described as a testing time for the various vehicles in the golf team, and Archie Hamilton, who's driving number 9, well, after not going anywhere for many hours, you finally got the thing out, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, finally we got it out. The first problem we had was a clutch issue, and yeah, we got the car out, and ever since it's been going well. We had a small incident in the night with Mike Wainwright, but ever since it's gone well. So we just lost 200 laps at the start, which really hindered us, but apart from then, it's gone really well.
I like that. 200 laps hindered you. You've been a very, very good media course, so that's a hindrance. But speaking for yourself, how much have you enjoyed your experience of racing the car around here?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great event. It's really well run, and I mean, you can't beat track time in January, and it's a really good race. The Lamborghini's a fantastic car, and I've enjoyed every minute. I did a double stint through the night and another double stint today, and it's just been brilliant. But it's just unfortunate what happened to us, but I'm sure we can bounce back from this, and the team really worked hard, so thanks to them, and all my teammates done a fantastic job as well.
How did you find the track this morning? Because people were saying it was actually more difficult this morning than it was overnight.
It was, but I also found that it was very rubbered in as well. The difficult part was offline. It was really difficult offline because as soon as you go offline, all the marbles, they're just everywhere, and you really can't go offline to overtake, so you've just got to be patient. I mean, I got 2 drive-throughs for doing 204s, and I was lifting over the line, and each time they said I got a drive-through for these rules, but that's how it goes.
I see, just too quick, which is I suppose quite a good thing to be. Now, Archie, you've been a single-seater driver. You've come out that way. I mean, it's a difficult ladder. Are you thinking now of doing the hop off and becoming a professional sports car driver?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I did Formula Renault last season and did well in that, but the Formula 1 route is so expensive, and it's very difficult for me to get there with the backing that I really don't have, and the sports car route with my grandfather's success is the preferred option, and my goal is to get to Le Mans and win Le Mans, and I really enjoy this kind of racing. It's a thrill, and it's great to be part of such a big team effort.
Archie, hopefully we'll see you in some more 24-hour races later this year. And for those who don't know, Archie's grandfather is Duncan Hamilton, who won Le Mans in a Jaguar, which is pretty impressive, in 1953.
Yeah, so a big anniversary for that family this year. It'd be nice to see the young lad at Le Mans to tread in his father's footsteps, Paul. The grandfather's footsteps, excuse me.
But your father is a great motorsporting name as well, Duncan Hamilton, and who is familiar to residents of Bagshot in Surrey as one of the prestige motor vehicle sellers there. As we watched, I think that was Thomas Enger receiving a penalty, as it was, in the pit lane.
Minute and a half.
He now goes up to the box where I suspect he will get out. I said earlier on that he came out just before midday, which he did, but the time spent in the pits is actually deducted from his driving time, so theoretically Enger could actually run it to the flag, but he may choose not to. We'll have to just keep an eye on that car and see whether Thomas Enger is fitted up for the flag or whether there'll be a driver change. I think there'll be a driver change.
Come on, Nick.
He's going to get you a coffee, Nick.
Yeah. What he basically said was he's going to get me an ice cream as well, because I'm smashed up, because I walk up and down the pit lane. We are several garages away. Thomas has got down.
I'm going to say Eric Lewis.
And I'm going to agree with you merely because I have no reason to disagree.
Okay. I'm guessing, but I think we might see the name Lux next to that. It is a Luxembourg engine car, and the engine is Eric Lux. It'd be nice for him to take the laps. He's got a couple in hand over 7th place, 3 behind the fifth place car. Realistically,
Charouz is also code 60. We have a code 60.
Oh my goodness me! I was just about to say, Paul Williams has tweeted to Radio Le Mans, at Radio Le Mans on Twitter, it's not over yet. Ask BMW, Spa 2010, 30 minutes to go. They had a problem and Porsche came through the win.
Ask Jörg Mueller, 5 minutes to go. Petit.
1.5 laps, in fact, wasn't it? 1.5 laps of a 1,000-mile race. If it had been the instead of the 1,000 miles, if it had been the 595 miles. And it is the Gulf car. Is that the number 9 car that has rotated?
Yep.
Is the Gulf Racing Lamborghini. And that car's really been in the wars.
Sorry, Jörg, didn't mean to bring it back.
The 9 car, Roald Gotha, who has the most unbelievable collection of Gulf liveried Le Mans cars. Indeed, it's his avowed intent to have one of every one. Celebration starting early there, practicing for the touchdown dance later. That's the Optimum Racing garage, isn't it, with Joe Osborne and the rest of the guys in there. Smile, you're on candid camera.
That better not get out.
It'll be on YouTube, you know it. It'll be on YouTube already.
It's so 45 seconds.
Yeah. Now, the bad news for Road Gotha is that that car appears somewhat recalcitrant to start, Paul.
Already in the pits is the number 1 car. Now, this is...
you set a time?
Well, it's Edward Sandstrom. He's got to make a stop sometime between now and the flag anyway, so I think he's just lucked in the sense that he can come into the pit fairly early in where he was then round the circuit. So.
Faisal Bin Laden getting in the car.
Right, okay, so...
to take it to the flag.
So that car had to make a stop anyway sometime before the flag.
That'll be drive it like you stole it, won't it? There will be no quarter asked or given. Watch out, 205.
Yeah, He's going to see, he's going to put his toes over the edge and see just how far he can see down to the ground.
That's the first time that Faisal has actually driven that car, because most of the time he's been driving the other car. Right.
He did drive it in practice. He drove the car in practice.
He qualified it first.
Yes,
qualified both of them.
Yeah. What I meant to say was it's the first time he's driven it in the race. So he's going to do what he can. And he kind of hinted to Nick when he was being interviewed, didn't he, that he was going to
give it a go.
Give it a go. So that'll be an entertaining thing to watch.
And he's gone straight out. Has not gone to the tank. So 1 car has come straight out.
That's the trouble, you see. You don't know how much fuel there is on board these cars.
That's right.
So, did he get in
30
and out without losing a lap? I would say yes, he did.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely. No,
so he's lost a bit of track position to Simonsen.
Where he's got to be careful now, John, is because he's got nobody to pace him, he's got to make sure that his 60 kilometres per hour is 60 kilometres per hour. Because the timekeepers will be looking at his sector time and saying, this
can't
is...
make anything up. Yeah, can't make anything up. I like Nick's idea of having a button in the car.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
For code 60, like a second, almost like a second pit lane speed limiter.
Yeah, but the driver then has, I hit the wrong button, my thumb slipped off it.
Nick Damon?
It's in F1. In the running back to the safety car, in a safety car period, they are set a certain maximum amount of time they can go through each of the sectors before they join the train of the safety car. Back to John.
Yeah, Roll Gotha, the reason he couldn't move the car was the left rear wheel has done a slightly better lap time than the rest of the car, and it's never a good day when that happens. There's been a puncture on the left rear, and the Oz wheel and tyre have parted company with each other, and indeed the left rear hub. So poor Rhodes fighting his way back up to 50th position, as in comes the
Faisal's
50 car.
Faisal's got into the 5, not the 1.
Thank you very much.
Condors. He's taking one of the cars home, but not the car that can still claim the podium.
So who's in the one then?
It didn't change. He didn't change drivers.
So why did he come into the pits?
To pick fuel up.
No.
But he didn't. No, he didn't go to the fuel.
Perhaps he pinged. Perhaps he had a ping.
No, didn't see it. Did they just put tyres on it? New set of tyres and go like whatnot for the last half
No,
hour?
I was watching. He didn't take any tyres either.
Did he stop at his pit?
No.
Yes, he did.
No. Let's
how do you think he
gone
changed?
insane.
How did you think they'd change drivers if he didn't
No,
stop?
because Faisal was standing waiting to get in the car. I actually missed the #1 car going past me because nothing stopped. And Faisal stayed in 5. I have no idea what's going on.
Right, get up
Nothing
there.
new there. As one of the Heiko Ferraris comes in.
Ferrari.
Mercedes.
That is Andreas Simonsen from second
And he's
position.
just gone down the pit lane. So I think he's taking fuel. Are you sure they didn't take fuel?
Positive. Didn't see the T come up.
Hang on.
Well, T didn't come up in the TV picture.
Simonsen is taking fuel.
Simonsen is taking fuel, and the T is definitely there for Tank Steiler.
And the video showed him coming through. So
Okay, fair enough.
I would like you to go and ask the team.
No, I will do. I got mildly confused. Let me go and ask the team what the heck's going on.
It's not going to be an easy recovery on that Lamborghini because the front splitter is so low that it can't be easily pulled up on the flatbed. They need a couple of bits of wood just to change the angle of attack of that car. So we're getting down towards the last knockings here of the Dunlop Dubai 24 Hours for 2012. 26 minutes remaining. We'll have the run to the flag. Once we go back to green, the code 60 working nicely. Out comes the SLS number 15. And we'll be back to racing shortly. So the 15 car,
You're
looks
exactly right.
is back into the fray, the gravity car. Man with his name above the door. Well, literally in this case, but I meant of the business and the entry actually.
And he's teaming with Charouz on it. It's Gravity Charouz.
Now there is the problem that the recovery guys have. That front spoiler is very, very low. The splitter very, very low indeed, and made lower by the fact that the left rear wheel isn't there.
Plus, you don't want to drag the back of the car.
No, absolutely. In for a stop comes the leading SP2 car, and this for the longest time that I remember has been the last Morash Racing team. This is the McGann Trophy. They've done a pretty good job. Took their opportunity when it was there. And despite a few incidents and accidents and a bit of bodywork damage, Nick's friend Gaffer Tape has been pressed into service with great aplomb by those guys. Now, it looks like, I look to my right, the recovery is going better than we might have thought. And the Lamborghini is on to the back. That's a nice job, guys. They have been, got to again compliment all of the marshals and all of the recovery staff, as well as the clean-up crews and the tow cars and flatbeds, because they have been super efficient here this weekend. Give yourselves a round of applause and a little golf clap. Those of you who have been working here, I have never seen such a well-marshalled race. Now, I've been told from the pit lane that Sandstrom did take a splash of fuel, so it must have been a bare splash, because I certainly didn't see that happen. A splash and dash was how the team described it. Must have been just a few litres at 1.2 litres, 1.2 seconds per litre. So there is the Lamborghini being taken off. We'll be going green any second now. Well, the good news is that the Lamborghini has been cleared on the flatbed, and that means that the number 117 and everyone else, the Nova Race Bianco, they're about to go back green racing. Just wait for that flatbed to double back around behind the Arco barriers and to get down either along pit lane or into the back of the paddock. And to do that, he's going to just nip into the back of the pit lane, which he is doing now, and drives into the pit lane. And as soon as he gets into the pit lane proper, the purple code 60 flags will be brought back in, and Khaled El Kabezi will see green and start the last 22.5 minutes to the checkered flag. Bernd Schneider is now in second place, Paul, with Simonsen and Sandstrom respectively in third and fourth position.
Yes, of course, the problem...
Green flag.
The problem that Sandstrom has is that the laps spent at purple were laps that he couldn't do anything about it.
Penalty for the 27 car. Right as the green flag is waved, he's coming in to serve a penalty. We'll see how long this is.
This is the second place car. The 27 is the Mustang of VDS Racing, the GT3 machine, and he is only some 8 laps ahead of the third place car as in comes the Nissan 120, and he's right behind the truck. So he was slowed up a little bit. That's the 6 car, Bernd Schneider, new second place. 10th position overall for Dickie Mean. There is the evidence of that rear wheel parting company with the back of the car. That is the 15 car in 6th position. Eric Lux taking that one to the flag. And it's 21 minutes to go, Paul.
Short penalty on the 27.
Waiting for the number 1 to come through to see what the gap is between him and the third placed Ico Mercedes, number 16. Because of course, whilst he was behind the 21 flags,
21.2 seconds.
Now that is evidence, if ever evidence were needed, that the code 60 works, because that's pretty much exactly what it was. All it's done though is it's wasted, what, 18 minutes whilst that was there, which was time that Sandstrom was relying on. So it's not the rate of catch-up, it's not the fact that the gap has changed, it's just that the opportunity has been taken away.
He's got less time to
make up time. The length of the race. 24 hours and 18 minutes, please.
Yes.
Stoppage time.
Yeah, exactly.
So do we get a guy coming out with a board? Khaled Kabezi goes through to complete lap number 618. The distance record is a distant memory now. Now 10 laps more than the previous best set in 2010. And everybody getting back up the speed pretty quickly. I didn't see anyone stuttering or stumbling back to racing pace. That battle for 11th and 12th between the 22 and the 21, the Tsunami RT Porsche and the CC Car Collection Porsche, is down to 2.4 seconds as they went across the line last time. Now there goes Andre. Where is Alain Berger? No, he's dropped off the back there. There he goes. He's lost a couple of 3 seconds. In fact, he's lost 4 seconds there as he's gone through. That was a shame. Also watch out for the number 20 Porsche gaining on the number 15 Gravity Charoux racing car. Eric Lux has got a lap and not very much actually, not quite a lap on Mark Anishin as he went across the line. So where is the 20 car? It was 20 seconds. It's now down to 16. So that's for 6th and 7th. So that is a real battle for position as well in class.
I reckon that
18.4 now. Sandstrom picking up 3 seconds.
Yes, I was going to say, on the other battle, I reckon that the Mercedes should have the legs on the Porsche there in the battle for 6th place. But I mean, when you look, you've got 16 seconds separating 6th from 7th. You've got 18 seconds separating 3rd from 4th. You've got 6 seconds separating 11th and 12th. So I think that's a change that's happened, isn't it? The 11th and 12th battle. No, that's a change that's happened.
No, yeah, it happened before the 60. I think you're right. Yeah,
it's going the other way now.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
But, you know, this is daft with 18 minutes of the race left that you should have this many battles still going on.
And let's remember, when we're talking about even the 2 laps at the head of the field, Paul. What we're talking about there is 4 minutes, 5 minutes really in 24 hours. Now we get excited at Le Mans if there's a lap or a couple of laps. We were spoiled this year with 13.862 seconds. Sorry? 13.854. Okay, sorry. Now you've told me that, I'll remember it. 13.854 seconds. But we get excited if there's a lap or 2 between the cars going into the last hour or the last 20 minutes, and that is a close race, but those are much longer laps. GT laps around there are something over 3 minutes. Oh, he just comes a little wide there as he came onto the back straight for the 620th time. Drops the right front Dunlop tyre of the leading Abu Dhabi by Black Falcon Mercedes off the circuit just by half a wheel's width or maybe a little more. Bernd Schneider, the 209.0, 207.4 by Khaled Al-Khanezi on his first flyer off the end of the purple patch of code 60. That is the consistency that the two will be wanting. Sandstrom though, Sandstrom is the fastest to 206.1, and he's picking his way through traffic, and the gap is down to 16.5 seconds. And that is for a podium position for this car that we're watching now, the Saudi Falcons #1, filthy dirty, has had 2 sets of front brakes on that car. Without that, would have been slightly in more contention. Now, they were clever about tactically when they did that, and certainly kept the losses to a minimum. They have to, on that car, get the bodywork and lacquer over the top of it exactly as it is. Yes. Because that looks absolutely fantastic. The set of used wheels, lacquer them up as well, so that you've got all the brake dust on them.
Put it in the museum.
Yeah, love it. Looks great.
Now, 16.4 seconds, 15 minutes remaining. That means he's got to...
The problem is going to be the overtaking, isn't it?
Yeah.
There was a very famous motor racing commentator that used to say something about catching was one thing, overtaking was another. John, you'll remember him.
I think it might have been before my time.
Yeah, Raymond Baxter.
Yeah. Well, the thing here is that catching is one thing and passing is another, because of the fact that if you get up to somebody and they can increase their lap speed just by a little bit, then you risk busting through your bracket, and at this stage that would be disastrous.
Yeah, I mean, discipline is everything at this point. Discipline is absolutely everything.
207.1 for Simonson. Where is Sandstrom? I'm looking across to my right. And where is the distinctive colours of the Saudi Falcons? Here he comes. Across the line, down to 14.713. He's taken 2 seconds out of that gap. 14.713.
At this rate, it's 7 laps.
Tight.
And there's 14 minutes.
14.5 minutes. He may come up 2 laps short here.
Yeah.
Or a lap short.
The code 60 was just a little bit too long.
Road Gotha's car, if it'd been on the back of that flatbed, just a couple of minutes quicker. But Sandstrom is giving it everything. His index is 205 flat, and he's running 205.4. Now, what about the other gaps? Yeah, Andrea Krujlik has pulled away from Alan Berger in the 21 and 22 cars. That's for 11th and 12th. Are there any other? The good news for VDS Racing is their Mustang is back out, although it's had lost a lap or 2.
Looks like Eric Lux now holds a 12.6 second advantage.
He's losing that as well.
He's losing that at 2 seconds a lap.
Tech down to the pit lane, just been announced as a driver for the American Le Mans Series with Team RLL. Jörg Muller is out of the number 1 Audi, out of the number, that's a Freudian slip, out of the number 1 BMW, the Saudi Falcons car, watching his teammate Edward Sandstrom is he going towards a podium, Nick?
So can Edward do it?
I hope so. I mean, it's I think 13 minutes to go and 13 seconds different to P3. So now we have to push, but we also have to take care that we don't go too quick. So it's going to be tough and very tight.
Did that last code 60 help you or hurt you?
Difficult. I mean, we made up something like 5 seconds to the number 16 car. So basically it helped us a little bit. But not as much as we wanted, so...
When you got the fuel stop done, which was important, you had to do that, but, I mean, how does the driver make up time when he's not allowed to go too fast?
Yeah, as I said already before, you have to be as close as possible to your target time, which is very dangerous, because as closer you get, as more dangerous it is to go just 100ths quicker. And if you're 100ths too quick, you have to do a stop and go or a drive-through penalty, and then the race is over.
How hard is it to watch this and not be in the car yourself?
Well, I know that Edward in the car at the moment, he's a really fantastic driver, and he was really consistent over the whole weekend, so I trust him a lot.
Jorg, thanks very much, best of luck. So I think the answer to that is I want to be driving, but unfortunately I've run out of time.
Nick Damon down in the pit lane, thank you.
So what happens if Sandstrom does the last lap in a sub 6 minutes 2 minutes 05? How are they going to penalise that?
Well, I think they just to give him a time penalty.
Yeah,
is basically what happens.
Yeah. I was guessing, and I wasn't even proposing it.
GM Graham on the forum at RadioLeMans.com says the Z4 reminds me a little of the Shelby Cobra. Take a small roadster, add massive tyres and stretch the bodywork to cover. Result?
Coolness.
Looks good. Certainly looks good.
Waiting for Anders Simonsen to come through in the 3 car, see what kind of lap he has put down, and then comes through at 2:05.6. So Simonsen has answered.
One interesting thing though is as we've got the Lamborghini off on the exit of the final corner, but watch out for the 5. The other Saudi Falklands car is at the moment right on the back bumper of the 16 of Andreas Simonsen, and that is being driven by Faisal bin Laden, and I'm sure that if he could get by, he obviously then would have to keep to his lap time and not be able to go any quicker, would he?
Yeah, true that.
This is a team game. 10 minutes to go. 12.6, but the big battle, and this is coming down in huge chunks now. Eric Lux in 6th position in the 15 Merc, being caught by the 20 Stadler Motorsport Porsche of Martin Eichen. And we've got a very slow Audi down the pit straight. I think that was the 26 car, he says. That's interesting. Didn't seem to trip any of the timing as it went by. But the battle is definitely on. The biggest battle on the circuit at the moment in terms of closeness is for 6th position. 15 versus 20. 15 versus 20. Here's the battle that we were talking about before. The second car there, the BMW. This is not a battle for position, but is a teammate of the car that is chasing this down for the 3rd place on the podium. What do you do if you're Simonsen? Do you let the other car go, or do you try and fight them off? The danger is in both
you let him go. I think you let him go.
2:05.6 from Simonsen. It could be that Faisal's pushing him faster, actually, without him realising it. I wonder if he realises which of the cars it is. Here's the team's even told him.
Here's the 15 car now, just 5 seconds ahead of Eric Lux, holding a 5-second advantage.
It's not that now, because that Porsche with the black stripe down the middle is the one that's chasing it down. Keep an eye on that one. 5 seconds the last time through, but the better part. Oh, it's an 11.0 for Lux. Eichen last time's done an 8. It's down to 2.8 seconds. Look in the background here. There is the 15 car, and the white Porsche behind it is chasing it down for position. Right, it's only for 6th. But at the end of a race with 7 minutes and 58 seconds to go, that is a battle, a true battle for position on the circuit. The battle for third is still going towards Sandstrom. He's down to 11.3 seconds. He's keeping up at, roughly speaking, 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds a lap, and that's what he needs to do.
And we've got about 3 laps left. So it's going to come down.
It's going to come down to when the leader crosses the line.
Right, exactly.
I can't see Sandstrom being able to do this now because Simonson's not going to let him pass when he gets there. The only joker in the pack is exactly what Al Faisal is up to. It's only for a podium position. It's not.
What are you saying? If it was for 9th and 10th, they'd be fighting it out.
Yeah, but no, what I'm meaning is that you shouldn't be using the team car to try and manipulate it. And I don't think they should. But I'm truly surprised and I'm amazed by what Mike Ination is being able to do with the number 20 Porsche. He is really driving the wheels off that car. And Eric looks, I don't know if he expected to have this much pressure put on him, but the rest of the team will be willing him on in the garage there, hoping that he's able to pull something out of the bag.
Now they are in the final sector at the moment. I'm trying to pick out that Mercedes as here comes the third place car of Simonson, and then look, they're side by side and it's on the position change, not quite, absolutely together, coming to the final section of the circuit, down towards the last turn now. The Porsche goes down the inside and it changes, the position changes, and Aishan's gone through to 6th place, down the inside at 16, side by side as they come out of it. Has he got the ponies to make that one stick? It looked pretty clean to me, and yes, as he goes across the line now, and Aishan's got up in the 6th position with just 6 minutes to go.
And the battle for third place, Sandstrom continues to cut the lead, but not by big enough margins. Andrew Simonson has answered brilliantly. Again, a 2:05.835 for Simonson. For Sandstrom, a 2:05.451. That gap is just now 10.9 seconds.
I just wonder if Faisal bin Laden being around that other car has pushed him on, because he may have just seen the colours, and if I'd been the team, I wouldn't have told him.
Yeah.
Hello, who's behind me? Sorry, we can't hear you. What are you saying? Hello, who's behind me? Am I going to fight this car off? Sorry, we can't hear you. Now that's Khaled Al-Khamisi going through to start lap number 626 with 5 minutes left. Where is the drama to come in the last few minutes? We have plenty at the start. Will we have it again at the finish? The Bernd Schneider car settled in 2nd place, the number 6 AMG Mercedes. He's lapping in 2:07s, the leader's lapping in 2:07s. Simonson, though, after 23 hours and 55 minutes, is having to get right down to his index time of 2:05. It's a 2:05.8 last time around, 2:05.4 from Sandstrom. Exactly what he had to do.
And he's caught traffic, so it'll be interesting to see how that traffic will affect his lap time here, as Bin Laden is keeping the pressure on him, but Simonson caught traffic. Yep.
On the screen now, coming across the start-finish line. The Berg is definitely quicker down the straight.
2:06.5 for Simonson.
There's a chance to pull back a second or so if Sandstrom gets a clear run. We know that car.
9.8.
Oh,
9.8 seconds.
Look at this. This is going to be tight with just a couple of laps left. I think the leader has got 2 more laps to go. I think maybe 3. I think 3 actually, just done a quick mental calculation. And that extra lap could make all the difference from Simonson and Sandstrom. 1 bad lap now, 1 slip, a 2:10 or a 2:09 from Simonson. It's going to make things very, very different indeed.
Now here's an interesting thing. Did they tell Al-Khamisi to speed up so that he doesn't do 3 laps but does 2 laps, which will help secure the sweep for Mercedes?
Different teams. Yeah, and I think if it was the same team, yes, that would be absolutely what we'd do. Looks like the Nico Pronk, number 25, is going to unlap itself right at the end.
The 5 car.
Faisal's gone through. Bin Laden has gone through. to unlap himself once from the third place car of Simonson. Simonson's got to stay out of trouble here. The 16 Mercedes-Benz can't get involved.
This lap and another one to go.
Really? Okay. 2:51. Yeah. There's already one or two people starting to form up for photo finishes, but this, for some of the positions, is still going to be a race. Daniel de Subras in the 28A6 car looks like he's going to get into just outside the top 20, but that's not a class position he'll take on the GC Automobile SP3 third place car, the 106. Well, what a race this has been. 24 hours ago, we were standing up watching the second of two pace car laps and wondering what the next day had in store for us.
Comes through at a 2:09.
He doesn't need that.
And 2:06 for Sandstrom, so 7.1 seconds. He needs an extra lap. He can't get it done in one lap.
Well, with just one lap, we think, to go.
Yeah.
Time, the sands of time.
Well, one lap to go at the end of this one. So finish this lap, and then there's another whole lap to go.
Right. Okay, I'll give you that.
The sands of time that are no longer blowing in the breeze at this point.
Thank goodness. Yes. Khaled Al-Khabazi is going to win this. The interest is for third place. And I think that it's tremendously unfortunate for Edward Sandstrom, winner last year in that #1 car, that it is not going to be his year this year. It's been a fine effort by the Saudi Falcons, by Schubert.
But a first major endurance win for the SLS.
Yeah, absolutely. Debuted that car here last year, Mercedes-Benz. And a sweep of the podium it should be. Across the line with 52 seconds to go for the leader, so there is one more lap, one more opportunity. Simonson must have another decent lap here, can't afford another 2:09 or a 2:10. It's just 2:10. I know that it looks a lot of time, but you could just, particularly when people are trying to form up with their teammates or get the photographs sorted, everybody is on the pit wall at the moment watching as Khaled Al-Khabazi is now on his final lap. We've got a car stopped on the front straight just down in front of us. I think there's been an accident there, right at the final corner. That is the J-Lock Lamborghini. Has he just pulled up there?
I think he's just pulled up. I think he's waiting for the
checkered flag.
You're allowed to do that as long as you're not in the way.
And he's not in the way, he's way off the driving line.
Simonson goes through at a 2:07.6.
Sandstrom at 2:05. Five seconds to gap. You'd say it's not doable, but it needs to be watched. And it's still got the #5 car ahead of it.
It needs so much nerve. I mean, Sandstrom's last set here. I mean, so much nerve is required to do this kind of stuff. I am so impressed.
Here comes the leading car then. We're talking about the third place driver because he is the one under the most threat at the moment. And it has been a remarkable run for all of the cars that will make it to the end, of the majority of cars that make it to the end. And the lead there just for a moment, maybe losing concentration coming through the last couple of corners. But it's a run to the flag now for the Mercedes-Benz #3, the Abu Dhabi by Black Falcon team, the #3, and Khaled Al-Khabazi will bring it home round the final corner. The checkered flag is out at the Dubai. The Dunlop Dubai 24 hours for 2012 is won. Mark VDS coming through right behind will take a podium position in SP2, but where is the third place car's answer coming into the infield hairpin?
Second. That's the 6th car now coming into the final corner.
Bernd Schneider coming through the final corner now to claim second place for Heiko Motorsport. He turns into turn number 16. The 30 J-Lock Lamborghini has tooted across the line. Now it's very close indeed. They're absolutely spin. It's a spin for Edward Sandstrom. He was close enough to sniff the podium. He almost had it within his grasp, and he spins it away 2 corners from the
everything he had. He took that as deep as he could possibly go. Down the back straightaway, he had closed it within a second, and then he threw it away on the last corner.
There goes the 16th car. Andreas Simonsen has driven at second last stint. But what a drive, what a comeback drive from Edward Sandstrom. The Saudi Falcons desperate to get on the podium, and it was so close, 2 corners from the end. That would have been an interesting run to the flag. As we're waiting for that car to come through, and it has done now. Sandstrom gained up almost 5 seconds and 2/3 of a lap. He was there, he looked down the inside, locked up the back wheels and spun it around. What a finish to a race, and that, remember, was just one class. The other classes have all been decided as well. Let's go down to the winning team and Nick Damon.
Jeroen, your feelings, the team, 24 hours of hard work and you've won.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it was such a tough race with the regulations, not being able to pull away if you could, if you had the pace, so it was very close. Actually right until the end, so I'm really pleased with what we've done. The guys worked very hard, very good pit stops, the drivers made no mistakes, so it feels really good.
And you can tell us now, was the car completely healthy at the end?
Yeah, we had no problems at all, so very strong car. It feels like a tank.
And now you've been joined by the 6 foot, no inch, Sean Edwards. Sean, a great victory.
Awesome, thanks to everyone, the whole team, all the drivers, the car, everyone just performed flawlessly, and we got the victory. I think it's our first, everyone in the car's first overall victory in a 24-hour race, so amazing stuff.
And the third driver who's not actually in the car, Thomas, how do you feel?
Well, it's amazing, yeah, unbelievable. We showed that the SLS AMG GT3 is a very reliable and fast car. We have 3 cars on the podium, so it's a big success for AMG and also for us as a team, for Black Falcon. So we are really happy, and thank you to the team.
Fantastic, thanks very much indeed. So, where are the rest of the happy people there? Slightly further down, the Heiko people. Let me see if I can find some people. So meander down. I think they may already be joining from the up at the. Oh, no, we're going to have to go this way, Jürgen, or we're going to get stuck out by an enormous crowd. So as you can see, it was quite interesting. They tried to take the officials tried to take the people who normally climb up the fences off the wall, but they weren't being offed as such. And as far as they were concerned, we're staying and we're going to end up playing with our flags. And the funniest thing was that it was one of these things where it's like little kids, really, where every time that man's saying get down, they get down about 2 steps, and then suddenly they climb back up again as soon as he was gone again. It's fabulous to see. Marvellous scenes here, a fantastic result, and a great 24 hours.
Nick Damon down in the pit lane for RadioLeMans.com, and what a victory for the number 3 Mercedes-Benz crew, and what a race this has been. So the winning driver getting a huge round of applause. The Saudi Falcons come home in team formation. It was almost a storybook finish for them, trying to break the 1-2-3 stranglehold on the podium for Mercedes-Benz with the defending champion BMW Mark, but just unable to do so. What a race this has been for everyone here, and there's a big crowd making their way down to the podium area with all of the trophies in the sunshine. So the Dunlop 24 Hours of Dubai is in the history books. It will record that it's a new distance record of 628 laps, fully 20 plus laps more than the existing record, and it will also record a victory for Mercedes-Benz and Abu Dhabi by Black Falcon. Here on RadioLeMans.com, we'll try and pick up a few more interviews before the podium formalities start. Quick words from Paul Trustwell and Jim Roller before we get into those formalities, for which we'll be handing over to Nick Damon and Ray de Boer. Let's do the from the heart bit first, which means Jim Roller will do the stats from Paul in just a moment's time to balance it out. 2 sentences, Jim, if you would, about this event.
The 24 Hours of Dubai by Dunlop puts the sport back in sports car racing. This has been the most enjoyable 24-hour race that I've had in a while, in the sense that there was it's not the pure gut go for it that the 24 Hours in Le Mans is, but it is a fun event that begins the season, and what a better way to kick off 2000.
Paul Trustwell.
I'm exhausted. I mean, it was a very quick 24 hours somehow. What the fuck was that? There was always interest. It was incredibly close for an awful long way through. I mean, it took us until the last 3 hours before that number 3 car really established itself at the top of the but it did it in a very pure way. For my money. It optimised all the parameters, and I think even if some of the faster cars would have been in the race, it would have still beaten them because it had everything absolutely to a T. I mean, we could have had that battle at the end, could quite easily have happened as a battle for the win, but a couple of little things that happened towards the end of the race. I mean, it is an amazing race. I'm amazed that it works. It's such a short circuit, so many cars, but organisationally, operationally, I have to give it 10 out of 10.
Brilliant stuff, and the first non-A6 car, Optimum Motorsport with SP3, the 116 Ginetta, well done to them. The 997 winner, 41 Car World Motorsport, and everyone who has done so well in all of the categories really deserve everyone's praise and applause.
Lift your hand. Final result, and this will be wandering down the other end of the pit lane, and Jerry's taking us, trying to put it, with Bernd Schneider. Bernd, second place, good result for the team?
Yeah, I mean, being on the podium is always perfect, and I'm very happy, because it's 3 SLS, I think, on the podium, and this is the maximum you can achieve, and yeah, we're absolutely happy.
Now, you drove both cars, so you've got to have 1 foot in each step, have you?
Yeah, I drove the car number 16 and the number 6. I'm quite tired right now, but I will have a nice sleep tonight.
You do know you've won a special award from everyone up in the booth because you actually hit your target time to the thousandth of a second. You did a 2:05.000.
Yeah, and I got really shouting from my crew because there was no joker left anymore, and this was on the edge.
Bernd Schneider, Mr. Perfect. Well done. Thanks a lot. So you just wander. I'll be honest with you, I have no idea why we're wandering down this end of the pit lane. So apparently I've been told there's going to be camels. That sounds terribly exciting. In fact, I might ask Jerry. Jerry, while we're walking down towards the camels, sum up your feelings at the end of a fantastic 24 hour of Dubai.
Yes, it's incredible. Actually, this is like thrilling for me with so much nationality, with so strong performance. I think one of the most strong performances we had over the 7 years, and we had some good ones. So it's really exciting. I'm a happy man.
I think we were very, very lucky because really up until the last 20 minutes, we didn't know who was going to win.
Yes, it's incredible. I think there were some points with the balance of performance, but I think it worked perfectly because that's what we all came for, the competition as well as the drivers. So really, they did a good job.
And we also think, by the way, that's all us who do this regularly, Code 60, brilliant idea.
Yeah, it's an invention of Huub Vermeulen from the Dutch DNT. He's a racing guy for many years, and it's a very safe and a good way of doing it. So they do it even in Dubai. So why should they not do it in the whole world?
I agree with you entirely, Jerry. I now know why I walk around. Jürgen, if you go around, it's your date for the weekend. That's risky. I think sticking it right in the face of a camel is a little bit of a risky one. She looks, well, I say she, I don't know, she's kneeling down. There are 2 or 3 camels. I think you get one team on each camel. Khaled, the driver who took the car home for the Black Falcons, hops on first. Actually, none of his teammates are looking like they're going to hop on behind him. Odd, really, because sports car are used to sharing cars. Surely sharing camels very similar. I want my camel set up for less oversteer, so let's put more grip on. Oh, look, he's done it. You see, he's put more grip on the rear end for less oversteer. So that's interesting. So how do you set your camel up as carefully as possible? Look very nice. They haven't spat yet, and I must admit, the way Jürgen's getting into the camel's face, I'm surprised it hasn't happened. And they've got Bernd, Mr. Perfect, on a second camel. Oh, sorry, I'm afraid not. I have to bump into someone else's camera. Oh, that's sweet. Oh. I don't know if it's Khaled's son, but it's a very sweet little picture. I think maybe his daughter. So it's a family coming up. It's a family camel ride. So they've just won the race, and now the kids get a camel ride. That's a very good way of going racing. You know. Guaranteed not to get any problem with the missus now. Now you've managed to keep the kids happy, and you've gone out racing, and you've won. You bring back a nice big trophy for people to dust. So, looking to see the third camel is currently as yet unoccupied. The Team 16 haven't nominated their rider. I'm not sure there's actually a race. I have to be honest with you, my knowledge of camels is limited. I hope no one gets the hump because of that. Yeah, also dromedary and something else. I think 2 humps is a dromedary and a single hump is a... Anyway, so the team, as we go round and look at the teams themselves, I believe what's happening now is the camels are going to walk back up the pit lane in triumph and splendour with the drivers when they've decided which man wishes to go with the camel. I wonder if we can just grab a quick word with Carly. We haven't spoken to him so far. Sorry, Khaled, why have we not? Khaled, it must be a fantastic privilege to take the car over the line.
Of course, that was an amazing feeling. You know, we kept it till the end when we saw everything was really in our hands, no risk. That's the way we take the race, and that's why we won it.
I mean, I understand you weren't feeling too well earlier in the day, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, we started off really with the wrong leg, left foot, by missing on the strategy in the pit stops and caught 60 and so on, and we lost a lot of time over there. But thankfully, we were still able to keep the lead after a couple of hours. So at the end, not a bad result with 2 laps, in our belt. That was a really, really good finish.
And a new distance record.
Is it? I didn't know that. I thought it might be. No, that's an extra bonus.
You see, that's a guy who likes records. His eyes lit up when he heard he got a distance record. There's some drivers, no name, no Pactel, Michael Schumacher, aren't interested in records, and some drivers, Khaled and Sebastian Vettel, are very interested in records. So he's set a good record there. We're still waiting for the drivers of camel number 3.
Anyway, we are very happy.
Assume will be Alan Simonsen. Perhaps he's gone to change. But whilst we wait for up gets the Schneider camel. Whilst we wait for the rest of the camel loading go on, perhaps John, you could run us through some of the results.
Okay, Nick, the winners in category Optimum Motorsport in SP3 completing 560 laps in the 116 Ginetta, 14th overall. In 997 category, Car World Motorsport, the 41 Porsche completing 550 laps. In SP2, also inside the top 20, the last Morash Racing team with the 103 Renault Megane Trophy, having also completed 550 laps. In A2, the first car was the Bezoplas Racing Team Mini, the number 80 car, on 533 laps. And in A5, the Ledugue Racing 51 BMW on 495 laps. A fantastic event, a fantastic race, and at the end, battles all the way through. We saw an exciting start to the race with Peter Cox taking the lead on the first corner, and at the end, what a charge through the field for Edward Sandstrom, trying to get on the podium and missing out by, well, a couple of feet of braking distance. Finally, the distance back from third to fourth was 8.235 seconds. A great event, a great broadcast live here from Dubai for RadioLeMans.com and for Motors TV. It has been absolutely splendid, and we still have the festivities and the podium ceremonies still to come.
So thank you, John, indeed. And as the Camels make their way up the pit lane, I think they're definitely keeping with the speed limit. They won't be buzzed and have to do a walk-through penalty later because they are staying below the 40-kilometre limit. It's a rather regal sight, actually, these well-bedecked camels. I'm just trying to get away people's camera phones. These bedecked camels looking... this is certainly... I have to be honest, this is unique. I have seen a number of podium ceremonies. I've seen a number of interesting ideas of various nationalities as they wish to promote things when they've run races. But this is actually rather... I think this is rather like this. It's very much in keeping with the country. The camels are very well behaved. It's not what I was told. They're very nice, very, very docile. Got a nice little pace on them. Khaled's enjoying himself up there. He's a winner, and he's got a camel. So it's not bad going. They're now moving very much towards the crux of the crowds again. There are a round of applause you're going to hear from all the spectators, whatever team. I think one of the things about endurance racing and long-distance racing in general is there's a huge amount of underlying camaraderie amongst the teams. It's like we've all endured this thing together. We've all had to go through 24 hours. We've all had to miss out on our sleep. So you deserve that, Camel, sir, because you have done the best job within that 24-hour period. And as the Camel and the top three drivers, or three of them, come into the centre of the podium ceremony, there's some traditional dancing or chanting from the Yabba team, or Yabba group, Yabba troop, I suppose. Byrne's enjoying himself. I think Byrne will come back next year just for the camel ride, I think. Doesn't need to drive two cars, he just wants to be a camel. Unbeknownst to me, Alan Simonsen did hop up on a camel halfway through the run up the pit lane, so we are camelled up. No. No, I don't know. I didn't. When am I doing that? That's fine. Okay. You can fade me up again. So with the camels now rather nice being parked behind the cars, you kind of hope they won't take a nibble of a rear wing. I don't think they're farmed. Yes, it's park fermé rules. The camels aren't allowed to eat anything. Very good point there, John just made in my ear. They would be severely, well, perhaps the car would be excluded for camel damage, which would be, I think, a first. We have a very nice picture here if you come from Stuttgart, because you have, is it Stuttgart? Yes, so you have three Mercedes lined up with AMG livery, the car that was debuted here last year but had to be was given best by the Z4, but they've managed a 1, 2, 3 in this year's Dunlop 24 Hours of Dubai. And the cars themselves show a fantastic level of scarring that you get in a track like this. The amount of rubber that's been thrown back from the pickup at high speed that scored the whole cars. And I'm absolutely what John said earlier. What we should do with the winning car is take the winning car, lacquer it up and stick it in a museum, because it has that such authentic patina, because it's been raced, it's been run around for 24 hours in incredibly hard conditions. And you can now see the camels looking to kneel down to let the drivers go. I think it's quite difficult actually, because they're kneeling on. Look at how much they like kneeling on pavement. It's not the natural surface they'd be kneeling on. And here they go down. So far we've managed to get the second and the third drivers' camels down, but steadfastly the winning camel is refusing to kneel. He or she is significantly bigger than the other two, in fairness. So Khaled's a bit further off the ground. I think it must be quite unnerving of a camel to try and kneel behind a Mercedes CLS, or sorry, SLS. Still can't get Byrne off that camel, he's staying on it. Alan's got off, but Byrne's still there. Grab a quick word with Alan while we can. Alan, got a great run into third there, but he almost got taken off in the last corner.
Yeah, it was the number 5 BMW that was pushing quite hard when I was in front. And then he was behind me and he hit me into corner 12 a bit, but for sure he wants to get a bit of disadvantage for me, for his teammate. I think it's a bit unfair, but still, I try to manage it and keep cool and just to get the speed and let it doesn't, so it doesn't can push me off or something, and try to get the gap to the number 1 BMW.
But a great team result for you and the 6 car.
Yeah, it's a perfect team. They did a really good job, and we've had a lot of trouble and a lot of time penalties, so a really good job for the team and all the other drivers. Unbelievable.
And how was the camera?
The camera was good. Good handling.
I thought so. I noticed how you all sat at the back to reduce the oversteer, which is particularly important in camels, I've heard. I think we may now be going off to do some form of podium ceremony, so we'll let Alan go there. And there's a gathering of drivers. Normally where there's a gathering of drivers, there will be a gathering of people going upstairs to podium ceremonies. And as we look around, Willie Gonzalez and Max and the team, they're all grabbing a bit of a... Jürgen, you're going to take someone's head off. It's the Hutco team are having a bit of a group hug. As they should. They've managed to bring back 2/3 of the podium with their two Mercedes SLSs. The winning car, of course, is another Mercedes SLS, but run by the Black Falcons team, who are celebrating as well. The Black Falcons also had a podium finisher in one of the other classes with their BMW. So as they look down, we're going to see where we're going to go now and see what's happening with the ceremony. We're trying to avoid the Yabba guys. And I think we're now being Yawa. I'm sorry, I do apologise, it's not Yabba, it's Yawa. My pronunciation of the local dancers is poor. And as we now following the drivers here, hopefully Jürgen's got them as well, they'll wander into the technical area, and that will take them upstairs, which will lead them to the podium, which will lead them to the chance to be awarded some very, very nice trophies. And I think we're going to have not only the ceremony for the overall 1, 2 and 3, but also we'll have the individual ceremonies for the classes as well. A couple of dead cars at the right of Lamborghini we've just walked past here as we walk through. Now this is a bit which if you watch Grand Prix, you know that normally you get 2 lines of clapping girls and a lot of very rich men trying to put their watches on as you go through this sort of background information.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the winning drivers then heading for the podium ceremony. Of course, we have the classes to go through as well. So this will be a relatively lengthy set of ceremonies, but worth it for everyone. And I'm sure that you appreciate, as we do, the effort that has gone into not just the first 3, but all of the finishers here. And it's been an extremely high percentage of finishers in the 2012 Dunlop Dubai 24 hours. There's the 3 Mercedes-Benz teams. Oh, what a way to announce your first victory in major international competition. The Mercedes-Benz endurance career has really started now with a clean sweep of this 24-hour podium. Gary Williams of Preventic leading the teams up onto the presentation area. And Nick Damon is up there with the cameras. And in a moment we'll hand over to René Debeur, who will conduct the podium formalities. Bernd Schneider looking very happy indeed, having driven both, or 2 of the 3 cars on the podium. He gets 2 trophies and 2 hats.
How was it for you the last one?
How many hats?
You only get 1 hat, but you get 2 trophies.
Okay,
How was it with the gas pedal? Theirs also broke.
Yeah, I think Martin Brundle did it once in a World Sports Car race back in the 80s.
They put one on the swatters.
Nick, if you pick it up from down there, and Gary will tell you what's going on. We have got the link through
Number 1, 2 and
for
3,
the
all 1 drive.
radio mic for René, so that will go on the international feed as well. Nick Damon.
Yes, the next part of the formalities is a little press conference for the top 3 finishing drivers. It takes me back a bit. And there's for getting the water through there. So we have representatives of the top 3 teams. We have Khaled Al-Kawazi from the Black Falcons and 2 drivers. Representing the second place car, it's Bernd Schneider, who actually could represent the third place car as well. We've got Alan Simonsen. So it's guys who took the cars through to the end. So the first question obviously is to Khaled Al-Kawazi. Khaled, your feelings on winning a race, the 24-hour in Dubai?
I mean, it's a great feeling, to be honest. We planned this, we tried it last year, it didn't go well. This year we tried, and hopefully, thankfully, things worked for our side most of the time. It wasn't easy. We were 7 seconds apart, the top 3 sometimes. And at the end, you know, everybody settled in his position, and that's how it ended. But otherwise, it was very, very tough, very close, stressful, nerve-wracking. But we're happy to see it through and winning, because that's what we came to do, and thankfully it happened.
And you had able support from your teammates. They were Sean Edwards, Jeroen Bleekemolen, and Thomas Jaeger. And because you had to miss some of your stints because you weren't moving too well.
Well, I didn't want to drive in the night. The lights weren't that great, so I opted not to drive. And then in the morning, it was too close and too stressful to be in the car. So I opted to wait out until it's a little bit less stressful.
So winning is not stressful, Khaled?
It is very stressful.
And of course, the other thing you have obtained is the new distance record for the 24 Hours of Dubai.
Yeah, he just told me that, but we thought we were going to get close to the record. We didn't know what was the record, but I remember last year we got to 590 something, and I reckon we'll get over 600 for sure. So what was the record?
It was 609, I think, laps, and you've got 608, and you got down to 628. So you've just gone 20 laps further. So finally, how much pressure was there on you when you took over the car and had to get it home with the whole of the team watching you?
Well, to be honest, it wasn't pressure at all. Actually, we could have gone a stint earlier, but we just opted to stay safe and make sure nothing happens. And you know, it's team strategy. Winning, there's a lot that go into it, so you don't want anything to happen at the end. So safety comes first, and making sure we bring it back home safely and pick the win. At the end, it was very, very easy for me. I was driving, trying to make sure I don't break below the 205s because our lap timer was not working properly, so I couldn't depend on, I should only depend on my own feeling of what the time is. So we were gauging it at 207s, making sure we don't lose too much time as well, and it was easy.
Well done, easy indeed. 24 hours done the easy way by Khaled. Now, I've come to the man in second place, but also in third place, but in this number 6 car, Bernd Schneider. Congratulations, you have 2 steps on the podium, as do Heiko. You must be, well, beyond pleased.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if you're on a podium after a 24-hour race, you have to be satisfied. I must say congratulations to Black Falcon and the drivers from that team. They did very, very well. We tried our best. We were a bit unlucky. We had a little problem with the throttle, what cost us some minutes. And I also made a mistake in code 60. I was a bit too quick. And we had another penalty, and that means we were a bit unlucky, but unfortunately the others made a better job than we did, and we will celebrate tonight like hell, because if you are finished second and third in one race, I mean, it couldn't be much better.
You did a tremendous amount of driving in what can only be described as incredibly variable conditions of both temperature, light, grip. Is this the most varied dry-only race you've ever run?
You know, I mean, the temperature is not that hot. I mean, I have been in Malaysia a couple of months ago. That was much more hot. I believe it was 35 degrees, and the humidity was so high. This was really hot. Here, I must say, the temperature absolute perfect for racing in this time. I mean, in summer it would be different. No, I enjoyed it. I mean, I did 6 or 7 stints in the car, and I still feel good.
Finally, Ben, 2 laps in the end was all the difference. 5 minutes. Was it there to be won?
Sorry?
Was the race there to be won, do you think, even?
You know, you never know. I mean, the guys, Black Falcon was in a quite good lead. I think they had still a little bit something to push for. And I mean, We are second, and we're happy being second. It's no issue to be sad about. I mean, we are really pleased, and I mean, we are motivated for next year. Probably the team that's coming back, and we will try again.
Fabulous, Bern. Thank you very much. And also, point to me about Bern, you don't know, he is the man who hit the reference point exactly with a 2 minutes 5:000. The perfect driver. Andreas Simonsen, Andreas, you were all about that last stint, weren't you?
Yeah, it was really hard for me because the gas pedal broke when I drove 3 laps. So I had to really, when I floored it, it stayed in full. So I had to push it back all the time. So for 2 hours, it was a bit hard.
A bit hard? That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, for sure. When you have 250 kilometers an hour and the gas is just to the full, and yeah, but still you have to manage it. And then I could find a way to put the side on it and managed to do a pretty good time on the round. So it was okay actually.
And a great team effort from Heiko and the 16 team.
Yeah, perfect race for the both cars, and for us we had a bit of mistakes and we got a lot of time penalty and like this with a gas pedal, but still we're on the podium. That's unbelievable. After 24 hours the car is no damage. I got a little bit of damage the last 2 laps, but yeah, it was an amazing race.
Andreas, that's fantastic. Go onto the podium and join your teammates.
And our Master of Ceremonies for the formalities, as he has been for some years here, the multi-talented and multilingual René de Boer. René, the formalities are yours, sir.
Blocking you with my elbow.
Did you hear that, John? So let's we wait for the ceremonies to just be sorted out. As you can see, there's a vast number of trophies to be awarded in a number of classes, and we're waiting for Reme to take over the Master of Ceremonies role. As we come to the presentation, initially it'll be obviously for class overall in class A6, and then it'll be for some of the other classes as well. I can tell you there's a lot of drivers waiting up here because they are part of a team that has been victorious in one of the many classes, and of course many of the class battles you've probably enjoyed us covering on Motors TV and RadioLeMans.com. And it's if you hear this hubbub is people by the side of me who are actually waiting to get up onto the podium. Just come through the very cosmopolitan crowd, it has to be said. See if I can find out what I've done wrong. Here we go. And I think that we're getting very close now for the start the presentation, just to do a little bit of logistics, just making sure that they know exactly what's going on, who awards what trophy to whom, which is always an important point, especially when you get a race as powerful, as popular as this. In just a couple of minutes whilst they sort out some of the trophy events. So, oh, sorry, I just walked into a young lady. I'll take the chance of wandering around. Let's see if I can talk to someone else who's won something. Matthijs Bugg. So anyway, you've managed to pull the car into... actually, I'll be honest with you, you were one of the guys in the second place car or the third place car?
Second place car.
I thought you had a bigger smile than the third place people. How are you feeling at the end of this 24-hour race?
A bit tired, but happy that we managed it to get second place and that we managed it to keep our enemies behind us.
Okay, now it's time to pass over to René de Boer for the podium ceremonies.
Thank you very much indeed, and here we are indeed. What a great race we've seen, the 7th running of the Dunlop 24 Hours of Dubai. And may I call on stage for the prize-giving ceremony, the overall results of the Dunlop 24 Hours of Dubai 2012. In third place, Heike Motorsport from Germany, Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG GT3, Bernd Schneider, Kenneth Heyer, Andreas Simonsen, and Rodolfo Gonzalez. And a round of applause, that's well worth. In second place, also from Heike Motorsport, and also with the Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG, Bernd Schneider, Maximilian Bunk, Christian Frankenhout, Max Nielsen, and Andreas Tuber. And another round of applause, please. And the overall winners of this year's race, the Dunlop 24 Hours of Dubai 2012. Your winners, ladies and gentlemen, Abu Dhabi by Black Falcon, Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG, Khalid Al-Khabaisi, Sean Edwards, Jerome Blakemolen, and Thomas Jäger. And now for the winners, please, the national anthem of the United Arab Emirates and the according flag. The national anthem of the United Arab Emirates and the according flag. Ladies and gentlemen, once again your winners and the second and third place team from this year's race. And the trophies will be handed over by Talal Al-Sawadi, Managing Director of the region DTCM, Abdallah Abdelaziz, Operations Manager of the Dubai Autodrome, and Mr. Tanselan on behalf of our tyre partner and title sponsor of this year's event. Once again, a great service by Dunlop. First of all, the trophies for the overall ranking, starting with the third place team.
Jeder kriegt einen.
Everyone can get a trophy. It's always good. You have done well.
Beautiful trophy and a great reward for a fantastic performance by all of them. A clean sweep of the Mercedes-Benz of the podium at this Dubai 24 Hours. Every driver gets a trophy. That's the very nice aspect of endurance racing. It's a team effort, and it shows here on the podium with so many beaming and glaring drivers. Very happy and very proud, and rightfully so, after which has been a fantastic performance in these very, very harsh conditions. Second place team, Heikle Motorsport. And the trophies for the overall winners. The first time Mercedes won here in the Dunlop 24 Hours of Dubai. Great victory, 1 year after the racing debut in 24-hour racing for the Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG GT3. Great victory for Abu Dhabi by Black Falcon, Khalid Al-Khabazi, Sean Edwards, Jerome Blake-Molen and Thomas Jäger with a new record distance.
Somehow yes, somehow no.
You kill someone with this thing. Jesus.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
There is another one for you. Yeah. I'm not worried. Yes. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Best team of the year.
Ladies and gentlemen, your race winners. And when everybody has his trophy, may I please ask you as well to line up for the photographers together with the dignitaries. Lift all the trophies up and celebrate your success.
Well done.
But this is not all. I hope you have all brought an extra suitcase to carry home, because you get another trophy. Because this podium is also the top 3 in the most powerful category in the Dunlop 24 Hours of Dubai, the A6 class. So we start again with third place, Heikle Motorsport, Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG GT3, Bernd Schneider, Kenneth Heyer, Andreas Simonsen and Rodolfo Gonzalez. Second place, once again, Heikle Motorsport, Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG. Once more, Bernd Schneider, Maximilian Bung, Christian Frankenhout, Max Nielsen and Andreas Tuber. And the overall winners are obviously also the class winners in Class A6, Abu Dhabi by Black Falcon, Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG GT3, Khalid Al-Khabazi, Sean Edwards, Jerome Blake-Molen and Thomas Jäger. Once again, a final picture. Please raise all your trophies and celebrate your success. Thank you very much to all of you for putting on a great show. Thank you very much. Enjoy the success. And I hope to see you back again very soon. And we continue with a special class in the Dunlop 24 Hours of Dubai, the 997 class for Porsche Cup cars, Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars. And we call on stage the 997 category. Third place in this class from Poland, my friends from Cork Racing Team 3, Miruch, Opiola, Kowalski, Kleinbach and Kalecki. Obviously with a Porsche 911 GT3. Second place in class 4, starting number 40, another Porsche 997 GT3 Cup, the Bezaplast Racing Team with Fran Jokovic, Martin Czornia, Roland Ash, Sebastian Ash and Stephanie Holm. And the winners, an international affair with drivers from the Netherlands, France and Belgium. Carworld Motorsport, Porsche 997 GT3 Cup, Matthijsen, Richard, Trouwels and Nair, and also from Great Britain. The winners in the Porsche 997 class, ladies and gentlemen. Trophies to be presented by Mr. Kanselin on behalf of Dunlop, our tire and event partner. what a great effort you have made as well, bringing all these tyres and great technicians over to Dubai, and no tyre problems we've had, so fantastic performance by you. Gary Willems on behalf of race organizer promoter Preventic, also presenting the trophy for all the drivers in the Porsche 997 Cup category. And there they are for the winners, Carwell Motorsport, the Dutch team, the best placed Dutch team in this year's race, in 5th place overall and winners of the Porsche 997 category. Fine performance by starting number 41. And show your trophies to the photographers and celebrate and enjoy your success. Thank you very much as well for putting on a great show here at the Dubai Autodrome. All the pictures being made as a nice souvenir. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of this 2012 season. Hope to see you back again very soon at the latest next year here in Dubai. We continue. We continue with the SP2 category, special cars for mainly GT cars, and we start in 3rd place, RJM Motorsport 1, Nissan 370Z, Lucas Ordonez, Mr. Tresson, Heidkotter and Mardenblow in 3rd place with the Nissan 532 laps. Gentlemen, 3rd place for you, please. And of course, a round of applause, well deserved for the Nissan Motorsport, the RJM Motorsport team with the Nissan. In 2nd place, our friends from Belgium, nos amis de Belge VDS Racing Adventures, Ford Mustang GT3, contre Raphaël van der Straten, Julien Bailly, Julien Choyen, Stéphane Lemaire et Al-Azari. 2e position, 2nd place for you. And the winners at Nederland from the Netherlands, Las Moras Racing Team by Equipe Verschuur. Back op het podium, call on stage, Max Braams, Ronald Morin, Duncan Huisman. Luc Braams, sorry, ja. Zo jong zie je eruit. You look that young. Luc Braams, Ronald Morin, Duncan Huisman en Moederman. Winners of the SP2 category, Las Moras Racing by Equipe Verschuur with the Renault Megane trophy. And once again, the trophies for you as a nice souvenir and a nice reward for a great performance in this race.
Thank you.
Divas.
Thank you.
Very good. C'est bien.
Merci. Okay. Yes, a picture. Ah.
I don't think this will fit in my luggage.
Hey, dames! Too big.
Trophies for the winners as well.
Had to send it with a car. It's about 15 kilos.
Everybody, put your trophy up in the air, celebrate and show it off. What you have achieved over here in Dubai. Very much and good luck for the rest of the season to all of you as well, and hope to see you back again next year here at the Dubai Autodrome, 48th running of the DUNLOP 24 Hours of Dubai. Great to have the SP2 category in great numbers, a great variety of cars, and that's what makes this race so special. It can accommodate all kinds of cars wanting to race here. Souvenir shop for the Nissan team. PlayStation Academy. Great performance by you. Don't forget your cup. Thank you very much. And we continue with the SP3 category. May I call on stage in third place, GC Automobile de Deutsch, Bonjean, Lequeuc and Thiel. With the GC Automobile Silhouette. Herzlichen Glückwunsch, félicitations, mesdames et messieurs, s'il vous plaît. Troisième marche pour la Podium. Great performance by them and celebrated by that team. It's very good. Good to have some acoustic support from them there. In second place, another good result, another podium finish for Black Falcon. The Black Falcon team, TMD, Friction, BMW M3, Von Rief, Raubach, Jans, Klüger and Metzger. Second place for you. Platz 2 für die Black Falcon Mannschaft in der Klasse. Eine tolle Leistung für euch. Herzlichen Dank und herzlichen Glückwunsch. And the winners of this class were the Ginetta G50, starting number 116, Optimum Motorsport, and they have achieved the optimum indeed. Noah Osborne, Sims and Morales. What an achievement for you. Enjoy this victory. All the trophies being handed over by the dignitaries, the representatives of our event partner, DUNLOP and Preventic, the organisers and promoters of this race, together with the DNRT, by Hoek van Molen. They are just as loud as they are fast on the track. Very good. And the trophies for the winning team, Optimum Motorsport from England, the Ginetta G50 from the UK, 560 laps completed to score victory in class, the SP3 class, in the 2012, the 7th running of the Dunlop 24 Hours of Dubai. Great performance from you. Congratulations. Enjoy the success. We continue with the 5 category. The petrol cars, 3 liters to 2.5 liters. Third place with Duo Racing from Luxembourg. Dumont, Schmidt, Bailly, Chopin, with the BMW, of course. Very BMW of the class. Third place, please step up on the podium. There is nobody on the 3 of them. Somebody's trophies, no problem. In second place, from Germany, Cooper Racing, the team from Cooper, Wolfgang Cooper himself, Lord Cole und Faber. Great success for you. Second place with the BMW 46 Coupe and the winners from France with the BMW 30i Cup, le Rigo Racing, Paul Bagnier, Peter Catherine, Vincent and Natasha. Félicitations, merci.
Well, I may not be able to sit in the winning car, but I can sit on the winning camel here at the Dunlop Dubai 24 Hours. And what a fantastic race we've seen unfold over the last day or so. Worthy winners in the Mercedes teams. But if you're a Motors TV fan who likes endurance racing, do not forget, in just 2 weeks' time, we'll be back with the 24 Hours of Daytona on Motors TV, the home of sports car racing in Europe.